Hello, guys. Welcome back. It's 2026, and we have been away for quite some time. We've just been, yeah, and there trying to get things back up together. But the final Cycle podcast is finally at your doorstep. We left for. We are always here observing things and seeing what's happening in the 2025 Call of Duty mobile space. And well, I'm not just here alone this time. We have a lot of wonderful guests. Well, before I even get to guests, I have to go and introduce you guys my wonderful co-host for today and for the rest of the final cycle. It's none other than the chairman himself, Seb. Hello, Seb. How are you doing, man?
Yeah. I'm good. It feels good to be back. Feels like it's been the longest break ever. Everybody else in the world went on break in December, but it feels like for those of us that play codm, we went on break immediately after champs. So yeah, feels good to be back. It feels good to be with the whole gang again. And yeah, hoping that this year is going to be just as eventful and just as exciting as last year was.
Yeah, for sure. I think there's a lot of things. We finally got a champ slot last year. That was one of the the most happy moments in Africa. And then we're looking forward to a lot of bigger things happening this year in the space. We hopefully we have a lot of stronger competition in the region itself, and of course outside there. But yeah, 2025 was a very good year, if I do say so myself. A lot of big events. We started things off last year with January with the ACL. We ended things up with the AMC event, and in between those were there was the World Champs, Cali First Africa Cup. That was the highlight of our year 2025, and let's just do a quick run through of what happened last year. Seb. I think if anybody knows a lot about the scene about esports, it should be Seb. It should be you, man, no doubt.
Well, yeah, I mean, to be fair, right? You got it spot on, right? The first event of the year was the ACL, and it was first time. It was the first time we're gonna have that kind of event because it was a phone only event. It was round robin, which meant that everybody got a chance to play against everybody, and the qualifiers was completely open. So yeah, we had like a banger of a tournament, and there was the promise that we're gonna have multiple iterations, but unfortunately, for reasons best known to the organizers, we didn't have a follow-up version. But it wasn't missed. Why? Because so many other tournaments came and filled in the gap, right? So around April, what we had Gamer, even though it was Nigerian only, he ended up with a LAN event that Series 7 won and Eclipse came second in. Unfortunately, that would not be the last time that Eclipse will come second to Series 7, right? Because only a few months later, right, there was the Carry First regional qualifiers, and then Eclipse came second again to Series 7. But by a stroke of luck, Eclipse will end up still attending the Carry First Grand Finals because the Mauritian team pulled out, and then Eclipse will actually peep S7 to go third, whereas S7 would come fourth, right? Paradox and BA Clan taking the coveted first and second position, which we all knew. And, more than ever, apart from the $15,000 that was up for grabs, right? They actually got the tickets. That's Beer Clan now. They got the ticket to go to Champs, which is the first time that an African team, an African org, will ever be at Champs. So yeah, in terms of tournaments, right? We thought it would peak at Champs, but then AMC came with is it a triple now or a four-pool header, right? They came with a quadruple header, right? There was the unending vows, or what was it called? Legal vows, something vows, eternal vows, right? Yeah. I just thought it was permanent vows. I mean, yeah. So there was eternal vows, there was African giants, and then there was advanced warfare, and then and then there was the OSS one. So yeah, it was like a really packed month for those series. And I think my biggest takeaway is that the events from last year cut across literally every sphere, right? So if you were a T3 team, there were about 10 tournaments you could have played and you could have made money from. If you were a T2 team, there were tournaments you could have played and made money from. If you were a T1 team, there were so many tournaments that you could have played and made money from. And even for females, right, there was a female-only tournament, a major female-only tournament. I think the prize pool was about $200, right? And, that was also a chance for, female teams that feel like, they don't really get equal opportunity because they're competing against teams that are way stronger. So I think last year, in terms of tournaments, we really can't complain. In terms of prize pool, we really can't complain. And to wrap it up, there was Deca Cup last year, which was the last event of the year. And, for the first time, and probably for the only time, XN9 won a LAN tournament, right?
What do you mean only time, Seb? What do you
I
mean
mean,
only
I
time?
said only time because XN9 doesn't exist anymore, right? Now it's HN9. Right, and they won it in the best way possible. They beat Syria 7 on LAN, so nobody can even say, "Oh, it's because Syria 7 weren't there." Right? They actually beat the LAN kings themselves to win their only LAN tournament, and they signed out. So guess what? S7 can't even take revenge. Right? It's one of those you win one and you just run away and you just have that record forever that you have never beaten me on LAN, but I've beaten you on LAN. Love it, but then you have to be asking: Eclipse came second. Where were they in Deca Cup? You would think, oh, maybe they came third. They didn't even come third. Why? They lost to who? To UAX. They came fourth, right? So UAX actually came third, and Eclipse came fourth in the final tournament of the year. But to be fair, if you're Eclipse, you're not complaining. You made what? Almost $2,000 in prize pool earnings over the year, which is the best that they've done in their history, and is inarguably a top 3, top 4 earning from a Nigerian org, in the history of esports codm in Africa, for a single year. So yeah, even the teams that didn't do too well last year did so much better than every year before last year.
Well, that was a very, very, very thorough rundown of every event that we did see last year. I think everything I wanted to go and say about the event, Seb has said that and even more. So yeah, 2025 was an amazing year, guys. I think the highlight again was champs. Kai first. I always find a way to glaze Kai first. Give a big shout out to them because they came into the scene and from out of nowhere. We got servers, we got a lot of this fancy discounts on their shop. Eventually, we got war champs. Thanks to Kai first. Big shout out to them. Big shout out to the community as well for believing. Except Halu, that boy, the cock Balu, he never believed in the community, but we finally got champs. And now we are in a different year entirely, 2026, and this is a new door, a new window to different opportunities and all that. We have maybe a glint at the EWC happening. We might be there. We know champs is also going to happen. A lot more events. Also, we have one banger event we have to go and talk about, Sam. The first event of the calendar year. It should have an ACL, but we have another A something that's starting this year, Sam.
Yeah, I think it's called the APS, right?
I don't catch you. It's ACC, if I'm not mistaken, African Championships.
I thought it was called the African. I thought it was called the African Pro Series.
Yeah, there's 2.
Oh, okay, yeah, you're right. You're right. So it's the ACC. That's the name of the event. But then there's the APS, which is the African Pro Series or T1, and then there's the ACS, which is African Challenger Series, which is the T2, right? So yeah, you're right. It's the ACC, the African Championship Circuit. But then what is our obsession with A something, right?
Actually,
AMGC, ACC, APC, AMC, ACL. Like, come on, guys. Like, at some point in time, we have to just rethink this strategy, because there's so many A's in my head, right? Like, if I had this many A's in high school, I'll be president. You get. But then, yeah, ACC, APS, and ACS. Oh my God, I need to get used to that. But then, there's a lot of hype around it, and it feels like the ACL, but reimagined, right? Because this time around, according to what I'm hearing, there's a lot at stake. Unlike in the ACL where, you could afford to be an AO and only win one map out of 33 and, not care about the fact that you did not win a single map series, right? Now, there's actually punishments, there's actually penalties, because according to what I hear, the bottom 2 teams are getting relegated to challengers, and then the top 2 teams from challengers are getting promoted into the Pro Series. So yeah, you're not just fighting to win. If you're a mid-table team or a bottom-table team, you are fighting to not get dropped, right? You don't want to be a T2 team today and then sleep and wake up a T2 team tomorrow. A T1 team today rather than wake up tomorrow as a T2 team. Also, I'm hearing that unlike in the ACL where iPads and tablets were banned generally, for the ACC, the ban is just one iPad per team. You're restricted to one tablet per team, and then a 7-man roster. So 6 phones, one iPad maximum, which I think is a welcome development, right? You are not completely ostracizing the iPad players, but at the same time, it's a bit of a level playing field, right? Now, when you look at the constitution of the actual teams that are playing, I have a lot of questions. Who is going to be in T1? Who is going to be in T2? And honestly, right now, I feel like it's a toss-up, right? Over the summer or the winter, right? Over the winter break, there has been so much roster mania, right? So player parts ways, so player joins, so player parts ways, so player joins. At this point in time, I don't think there's any team that has maintained the same roster for the past 6 months, right? So we're going into a tournament where we can't even say definitively who's the best team, who's second best, who's third best, right? And I think that's going to be really interesting because I feel like in the qualifiers, which is going to start on the 24th of January, there's going to be a lot of surprises. There are teams that people will not expect to qualify that will qualify, and there are teams that people expect to qualify that will not qualify. Now, which teams will fall in either side of the brackets, I do not know. Another thing that I think we need to consider is map sets and rules, right? The champ cycle obviously hasn't started, and as a result of that, we don't know what the rules for champs are going to be. So the question is, are we going to stick with the old champs rules? That's the rules for last year, or are they going to make any modifications? How about the map picks? Are we sticking with last year's maps, or are we waiting for new maps to drop? Or are we just going to try our luck with our own maps and hope that, it somehow aligns with champs? So yeah, there's so much questions. But at the same time, that's what makes it beautiful. Nobody wants a predictable tournament. Nobody wants a tournament where you already know the outcome from the beginning, right? We want to have those questions. We want to be able to make arguments. We want to be able to place bets between ourselves and say, okay, I think this team is going to finish third. Nah, you're wrong. I think it's going to be this other team, right? So yeah, like I feel like this is the best kind of atmosphere to have for a tournament. And personally, I'm super looking forward to, how the tournament is going to start out, how it's going to continue, and how it's going to wrap up. Another thing to what mentioning before I go off is that this tournament is primarily sponsored, supported, organized by ASG, WASG in chat, and there's going to be 4 editions, if I recall correctly: summer, spring, autumn, and winter, right? So it's not just one tournament. $1,500 per edition of the tournament. That's $6,000 over the whole year. Wonderful stuff out of ASG, WASG in chat once again.
Yeah, no doubt. Big shout out to ASG. I think the very first event they hosted was last year, towards the end of the last year. So it was a Ghana only event, and I did cast that alongside real time producing the stream. That was the first time I actually heard about them, and I think they finished top 3 in that particular event, and eventually I got to see them in a lot more events, and now seeing them actually sponsor a whole, not just one event, but 4 events, and a $6,000 prize pool. Now that is a lot out there. Big shout out to ASG codm, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the first game is going to look like, the first series of events here, and mind you, it's going to be starting on the 24th. That's next week Saturday. I mean, this week Saturday.
No. So it's registration is what is starting on the 24th. Qualifiers, my bad. Qualifiers, my bad.
Qualify starts on 24th, guys. So a lot of T1 teams are ready. The main event, I'm not sure the qualifiers are going to start. So you guys stay tuned in. It's going to be live on the ASG YouTube. I think that's going to be passed across to you guys very soon. I don't know where it is, but it's on there's already on YouTube. There's not a lot of videos posted already on it. So you guys just go to YT now and search for ASG codm. I'm very sure it's going to be there. But yeah, 2025 and 2026, these are, 2 different years entirely. 25 was an amazing year, in my opinion. It was one of those eye-opening years to esports, and a lot of opportunities. Apart from the events, apart from the players now and the orgs, let's talk about casters that have come into the scene. I want to go and talk about like a couple of new casters that I think have actually, seen. Black Matter, of course, my friend Kijo. We finally got a female caster. When I started watching esports, yeah. It was Beef Mami. It was the Garena cast that I actually started with. I watched Mustache a lot, and I saw a lot of female casters, and I fell in love with casting. Not the ladies, the casting, not the ladies. I fell in love with the casting, yeah. So like me finally seeing a female caster in our scene, Kijo, I'm actually sort of glad, and I'm hoping that 2026 is the year we get a lot more new casters, not just females, males as well. I want to see people come. I want to see a lot more casters, and yeah. Hoping.
You shouted out Kijo, but you've forgotten Kira as well. Kira has also been super active. Sophie is another female caster that has also been super active. In fact, the three of them are basically the triple header of female casters that are carrying casting on their heads, at least from a female point of view. And I was fortunate enough to witness when they first started, right? And seeing what they are doing now is is proof that sometimes all you need is to just make the first step, right? Take that first step and then see where it goes from there. Some of them, they had so many doubts, so many questions. Oh, what if I don't do too well? Oh, what if people don't like me? What if this? What if that? Just start. They started, and now, I think it was 2 weeks ago, Sophie was casting AER, and she had 50 plus concurrent live viewers. Do you realize how crazy that is? She was casting two random teams that nobody recognizes, and she had 50 people tuned in, right? They would only do that because they are confident in the quality of the stream, right? And for everybody that thinks, oh, the esports scene is gatekeeping certain positions or certain access and opportunities. That's not just the case. The reality is, if you really want to do something, right, and you show an interest in doing it, the opportunity is there for you to take, right? Excluding casters, if you look at the Carry Fest event, right, there were also content creators that were flown in, by Carry Fest to cover the event, right? You had the likes of King's Plays and Malay, handling Carifest official community live stream right there from the event. Then you had Red Ivy, myself, a couple of other content creators that were also brought to the event, in some sort of production capacity. Again, these opportunities didn't come to us because we know anybody or because our fathers are, in high positions or anything. These opportunities came to these people because they put themselves out there, right? So if you want to be, a full-time streamer, a caster, a content creator, don't doubt yourself. Just go for it. Like, you never can tell how far you're going to go in just, 1 year, right? And, for Kijo, Sophie, Kira, I can only imagine how far they're going to go this year. If last year was, just the beginning and they were able to make this much progress, then I expect that this year they'll be able to go even much more farther. And I won't be surprised to see them casting even some of the bigger events, compared to last year.
I'm actually looking at the chat right now, and Senez says, the guys don't answer Seb. Seb knows CEO of Carry First personally, like they're brothers. So like
we went to the same primary school.
Like you could just be lie. Like it's not you guys false hope, guys. He's a lie, man. He knows CEO of Carry First. He literally schools at the guy. But yeah, I mean to be fair, like you did say, there's a lot of opportunities in esports. My headphone wire is connected, guys. Welcome to the life of Kyle, bro. But yeah, there's a lot of opportunities out there for you guys. If you want to join, be a caster, be a pro player, be a moderator, be a content creator, just go for it. But yeah, we want to go to the next section now. We've talked about 2025-2026 session in esports codm, and we want to talk about our partners here at the final circle, because of course we can't do it alone. And we're going to just talk about real time. The real time website is currently on. And if you go to www.realtimeproduction.com, you are going to be able to access a lot of features. This is the homepage. You can even go as much as analytics for players and for teams. When me and Seb like to argue about who's the best player in Africa, who's the best player in NG, blah, blah, you can now do that on the website. All you need to do is go there, search for a particular player, choose the tournament, choose the player you want to go and compare and contrast, and it's going to give you all the stats of these players, their KDs, or how many games they played, their essence, every single thing you're looking for to go and see there, it's going to be there. Also tournaments, you want to go and see the teams that won which tournaments, how much your prize pool were, even down to the itself. You can literally click on the stream or on the tournament, and it's going to direct you to where the stream happened, and you can go and watch it. So you can also even make predictions. I think the coolest feature right now is you can actually go and make your predictions there. And a little surprised, I'm not supposed to announce this now, but for the first tournament of the ACC, we are going to be doing a top 3 winner prediction on the real time website. So your top 3 winners are going to be getting a prize pool. I've got no idea how much it is right now, but real time is going to be sponsoring that. So your top 3 winners
I
of
think
that particular event in predictions are going to be getting a prize pool.
I think you should revise that. It's not if a top 3 winners; it's a second and third position, right? Because we already
The
know
first one winner.
who's winning. We already know who's winning, right? Oh, you're coming second. That's fair, right? Carl second. So there's only third. So the rest of you are fighting for third. So you guys should kind of lock in your predictions so you can come at best third. Because I've taken that first slot and Carl said he's taking the second slot. So good luck to those of you that are going to try predicting. But yeah, W real time. This is actually something that we've spoken about for a while. You know, it's sad to always be arguing in circles. Oh, this guy is T1. Oh, this guy is T2. Oh, this guy is good. Oh, this guy is not good. You know, there is data, right? There are records, right? But we needed someone to put them together, you know, to make them into a way that it was intuitive and it made sense and that you could call on and fetch whenever you needed. And real time has, you know, been able to put that together. So yeah, W real time for this, and we can only anticipate what future versions of the website is going to look like. Personally, I'm going to be using this app a lot. Once people start arguing, Seb, don't start again. Seb, I started again. I'll just pull the stats and show you and shut you up, and I won't say more than that. Screenshot the stats, post it on chat, and take my leave.
Actually, no doubt. So yeah, if you want to go register, just go to www.realtimeprod.com, create an account, and you can access all the features there for free. And of course, I'm going to be arguing that a lot. But yeah, thank you to our partner Real Time as we now proceed to our next step in the event. We want to go and invite. When you guys watched the video about throwing hands, I wasn't joking. No, me, I was not joking. I'm legitimately giving you guys a platform to throw hands. You see me and Seb, we go throw hands. It's not now. I'm trying to be nice. It's the first time we just came back this year, so we don't want to get too violent, me and the co-host. But we are going to throw hands. Me and Seb, we have beef. But before that, we want to go and invite a couple special guests to join the studio first. And if I'm not mistaken, we do have Eugene Abuderby, one of the best casters, number 1 caster in Africa right now, no doubt. And we also have Senez, who's the more that carry fast, and of course a very special. By the way, Jiggy, the owner of Eclipse Gaming, he's going to be coming into the stream as well. But also we have 3 special players that we are going to be invited eventually in. We have Live. You guys all know Live very well. We have Dad, the number 1 player in NG according to my list. Well, a lot of people are saying is a lie. I don't know, man. Maybe I should ask Seb. But before that, we also have Daniello, who's going to also join in. But Seb, what did you think about that list? 1 player in NG, was he Dad, or was I tripping?
I with all due respect, right? Like, I feel like Dad is a phenomenal player, and I've always said it. But I feel like when people say he was the best player last year, there's not a bit, there's a lot of recency bias in it, right? And it's simple. He won the last event of the year, and he won it in a David versus Goliath type of way, right? Nobody expected that N9 was going to beat S7 at the LAN, right? That joins N9, beats S7 at the LAN, wins the last final LAN event of the year. Of course, everybody is going crazy. But me, if I was to look at, the entire year and look at all the tournaments, then I wouldn't quite say he was the best player last year, right? I'll probably have him in my top 2, top 3, but that number 1 spot would, in my opinion, go to a player in Series 7.
The name. Call the name, Seb.
I personally am of the opinion that Fadi was the best player last year, right? And this is something that I've said. Like, he improved so much, so significantly as the year went on, and he was one of the most important players in S7, if not the most important player. He was their main sniper in S&D. Whenever S7 was losing, just check the stats. Fadi is lagging or Fadi is underperforming. But once Fadi was on, he was properly on, right? And if you're looking at it in terms of wins, he was on the same team with Dad for ACL, so they finished in the same position, right? Then he beat Figo in like 6 other tournaments, right? Excluding Carry Fest, where Figo Dad came 3rd and Fadi came 4th, right? And then in Deca, Dad actually got eliminated in 4th Fadi's team made it to the grand finals, but then Fadi was not in the grand finals, and then Dad joined another team and then won. So in my opinion, I feel like Fadi was the best player last year, and I feel like I would give him the nod over Dad. But I think Fadi Dad was definitely like a 1A 1B type of thing. And I feel like other CR7 players like Hacks as well. Hacks really performed last year, but I feel like because of the type of team he's on a star-studded team, so it's very difficult to isolate his performances, right? As a result, he's suffering from success in a manner of speaking, right? As opposed to like Dad that's playing on a team where everybody else is 2-3 levels below him, right? And then he stands out as like sort of the shining light, right? But yeah, I think Hacks was also, in my opinion, a top 3, top 4 player last year. So yeah, your list was, in my opinion, not bad. I just feel like the way you ordered it, I would have done it differently.
Well, again, I do want to agree with you in a lot of sense about Fadi. But the reason I would put that number one is no matter where Dad played, he was still the standout player. I'm very sure my number one player in Africa as well, really, would actually spark a lot of controversy. But the reason I put those two players number one, respectively, is wherever they played, even if they didn't get to win a lot of events and a lot of titles, yeah, but wherever they played, they always were the man to look out for. Wherever you see Rin play, Rin goes to PDX, he's MVP. Rin plays for Ace, MVP. Plays for Aura, MVP. You see that same thing in Dad. Wherever Dad plays, they might not win a lot of matches, but you eventually see the man always carrying, always having those individual standouts, but ultimately just not able to, put it through to a win. And that's why my
Yeah,
for sure.
but the difference here is that Ruin actually played for the best teams, right? He played for Ace. He played for Paradox, right? Dad is not playing for the best team. All the best players are in Series 7, right? Let him play in Series 7 and be the standout player. It's easy to be the standout player when the other players on your team are Daddy Coco, and
Jesus.
Demo, right? That's completely different from being the standout player
Yeah.
when you're looking to your left and you're seeing life, you're looking to your right, you're seeing virus. In front of you is Fadi, behind you is Pain, Hadjus, right? It's completely different, right? So yeah, if who can I think of that is a very good player? If Mbappe, right? Or no, Mbappe is even too good. If a player like Mo Salah, right, decides to play for every team in the Nigerian league, of course he will be the standout player, right? If he plays for all the teams in the Ghanaian league, he will be the standout player. But if you put him in Real Madrid, that might not be the story. Why? Because he has Mbappe to compete with. He has Vinicius Junior to compete with. You get, and that's why I feel like in terms of Dad, right? Dad is playing on teams where he's clearly the standout player. In fact, I think the only player that Dad has played with outside of Series 7 that can push him hard is Geras, right? And Geras was the best player on Dad's team in the ACL, right? He was on the same team with Dad and Fadi, and Geras was the best player, right? But in Eclipse, Dad was obviously more impactful, even though Geras was there as well, right? So that just shows you that, oh, you know what? If Dad is playing with players of his level, then it's not always so easy, right? So what would not happen if he goes to S7 where they have like 5 Geras? Like, just think about it again. I respect this guy. I think he's an amazing player, right? But I just feel like he's suffering by, that thing they say girls do where they surround themselves with ugly girls so that their beauty will stand out. Like that's a bit of the situation. That's a bit of the situation we have here. He's a 6/10 surrounding himself with 1/10s. So when you now look at them, you're like, he looks like a 10/10. Oh my God, she's so fine. Nah, she just has ugly friends.
My head is aching me at this point. A lot of strays were thrown here. A lot of strays were thrown. First of all, the major stray was at Demo and Daddy Coco. I just imagine playing with Daddy Coco. Oh my God. Guys, Seb needs no disrespect, guys. He's just saying his mind here. But also, he called Dad a 6/10. Dad, do not forget.
No. I didn't call him a 6/10.
I lied. He called Dad 6/10. You guys do not forget that, guys. But again, guys, we are ready for our guest. as we have them about to join. Our first set of guests is going to be, well, pioneers in the scene. We have Eugene Abuderby, we have Senez, and of course, and we have Jiggy, the honor of Eclipse. I'm Dad's best friend. So I want to see what the heat is going to look like in the next couple of seconds here between Seb. We welcome them in. Woo! Eugene joined it. Come, let's go, Jack. Hello, Eugene. Hello, Senez.
Yo, what's up, guys? How you doing?
Hey guys, hey, how are you doing?
Yo, Senez, what's up?
Yo, Seb, there's a lot of cap there, man. Like serious cap. Calm down.
Like the one you and Eugene are wearing, Abi. You push
No,
it
seriously.
Exactly.
As in, these guys have been talking trash for the past 20 minutes with our
What
inability
do
to
you mean, bro?
reply.
Seb?
Garbage.
Like, nah. What I would say, my take, right, on the whole thing is that I feel it's down to consistency. It's not just about, okay, the team is playing on, maybe a one-eyed man in the land of the blind is referred to as
Thank
a king,
you.
right? Wait, but in terms of consistency, who are those opponents that has been performing against, right? He has not been playing against tier 2 or tier 3 teams alone, right? He has been playing against the so-called, top teams that you rate in the tier 1 scene. And when he has been playing against them, has he been performing? That's the question, right? In as much as, okay, the team has not been winning or coming first in those tournaments, but in the games they've been playing against, their peers, who has been more consistent. Fadi has had a good year. I'm not going to lie. I think Fadi would have been like the most improved player last year if you're looking at from the early parts of the year. But after Carry First or during Carry First, finals, I think Fadi faded away. Like he didn't show up in Carry First finals. And from there, I think we didn't see much of Fadi. Maybe I didn't watch too many tournaments after Carry First. But I feel that has been consistent throughout the year. That's my own take on the matter. You're talking about NG, right? Just to get
Yes. Nigeria only.
Well, I would say was. If you're looking at that's overall now, for me, consistency is what matters. I keep saying this thing like in the African scene, I feel Ruin has been the most consistent player. But I think there is a couple of players like maybe Darox, okay, not Darox, I've forgotten who they mentioned. Eyo, okay, they said Eyo too was also very consistent. But I think Eyo after Carry First, we didn't see much of him, maybe because there weren't too many tournaments. But Ruin was always consistent with Aura, with Sierra 7. So that's what matters for me. Like consistency across, all board. So I would say that, yes. But you can make a case for Axe too. But maybe Axe over Fadi, to be honest. No beef with Fadi. I love Fadi. Like he really did well, but I would say Axe and Dad are both up there, and I would pick Dad over Axe.
I would have put this your consistency argument, I would have put it to bed, right? By simply showing you the stats. We had this argument on forums a while ago where someone said Fadi was the best player on Legion, and they said Dad was the best player on Legion, and I argued to them, I said, no, that was not true, right? Geras was the best player on Legion, like where it was clear, like the gap was so clear. And I told them the difference between Figo and Fadi in ACL was not much. And everybody agrees that Fadi became so much better. And they said it was a lie, right? And I went and pulled the stats. It's just that it's going to take me a few seconds to find the paper where the screenshots where I put the stats, right? Basically, Fadi was better at S&D and Dad was better at response. But between them, the variation was less than 15%. Right, so they were neck and neck essentially, and Fadi was bad during ACL. Now Fadi was atrocious at Carry First, right, and I think everybody acknowledged that, right. He was horrendous, right, and I think it was a mixture of the fact that was his first time in that kind of environment, under that kind of pressure. I'm not trying to make excuses for him or anything, but again, this guy was playing tier 2 just the previous year. And then now he's playing stage 4 in front of the largest audience of his life. Maybe nerves got into the way, device, blah, 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 whatever. I'm not giving him excuses. He was horrendous. Now, after Carry First, very, very important, Fadi went back to being S7's best player. The only time that he was not the best player, that's what I want to say. The only time he was not the best player was when Ruin was there, right? But if you go back and check every single SS that Series 7 has played without Ruin, right, you will see Fadi on top, 50 bomb, Fadi on top, 45 bomb, right? Like, we're even discussing once that Fadi is the most clutch war machine player in Africa, not in Nigeria, in Africa, because once you're playing against Series 7 and the war machine... No, I'm saying it was an argument, right? It was an argument.
Okay.
Once you're playing against Series 7 and the war machine comes out, right, it's wraps. You are all five of you are going to respond. You cannot escape it, right? And then Fadi was also like, it was like S7's Joker. If they need shotgun, Fadi. If they need sniper, Fadi. They need marksman, Fadi. SMG, Fadi. Like, he was literally doing it all. In fact, a lot of people feel like the reason why they lost the LAN was because Fadi wasn't there, right? Because they had to get two people that were supposed to replace him, but they couldn't keep up, right? Jobber's snipes were not hitting, obviously, because he was rusty as fuck at that point in time. And Retro just couldn't keep up that Fadi level of intensity where you're dropping 45 bombs every single map. So I feel like Fadi is suffering from, like, having the worst time of his life at the worst time possible, right? He frauded on stage, and because of that, everybody just wrote, "I see this guy. We always knew he was an online warrior," type of stuff. But like, if you actually look at the stats, and I'm obsessively a stats guy. Like, I don't care about what you see and what you watch. I will look at the numbers, right? Fadi was consistently, right? He was consistently a better player, and even Deca Cup in the qualifiers, right? Because I also compiled the stats for Deca. Fadi had better stats than Figo, both in response and in S&D. And even when they played against each other in the semi-final of the qualifiers, right, he had way better stats than Figo. Unfortunately, Fadi didn't play the grand finals and Figo did. So we had to exclude that from the analysis. But yeah, by this time next year, we'll not be arguing with Mount. It's statistics. We'll just be doing the player compare and we'll be looking at it. It will be way easier, right? It will be way easier that way.
Yeah, I think I wanna hear what Eugene has to say about this, because he might not be that conversant with the NG scene, but I'm very sure he knows Fadi from the Carifest Cup, and he's also seen Dad. So, and he also watched a lot of games where these players play. So I want to hear Eugene's take on Dad and Fadi. Who you think should be number one in like a list of top 5 NG players right now?
Dad over Fadi. Keep me out of West African issues, please.
That's 3-1, 3v1, and Seb just keeps ranting. Maybe when the Road Tide website, we have the stats for this year, we can now compare the whole thing for next year and see what's better. But for right now, Dad is over Fadi, man. That's it. I love Fadi, but that is it.
This is a perversion. This is a perversion.
I'm sorry, man. Normally, I'm sorry. I'd never argue with Seb on the numbers, never. But I'm going to keep this base. Seb, I can rely on Seb having kept the numbers of Deca Cup, which we never saw. At the Oasis champs, anything after Oasis, Eternal Vows, fine. But I'll keep this to World Champs. Let's just keep it to the global stage for now. If we just judge it harshly by the highest level of African competitive scene, it's Dad over Fadi, man. I want to account for the off season, and I'll keep Seb's numbers in mind. And I trust that yes, Fadi might have had some improvement, but judging by where the last one that actually held some weight, it's Dad over Fadi.
Case closed. Can we move on?
Yeah, we have to move on from that, unfortunately. But yeah, again, we're gonna leave that. Now we I think we've exhausted the top 5 in NG talk, and maybe let's have a little debate on the top 5 in AF here. Where again, let's just say top 3. I did keep Rin there. I'm gonna say why again for Eugene and Tenez who just joined. I did say Rin because wherever the guy played, even though he didn't really get to win a lot of things and play a lot of events, he's Ghanaian, and unfortunately he doesn't get to play a lot of these events because he's Ghanaian. But ultimately, still, the events he played, wherever you saw Rain play, the Carifest Cup, You saw him play the ECL. You saw him play for Ace, PDX. Wherever you saw Rain play, potentially, he's always that man carrying. He's always the man with the most skills. So, in my opinion, I think I think right now, if you put Rain in a top five the best players in African group team, he's still going to be the man to look out for. That's why personally I think he's that's number one. But again, what do you guys think? I'm going to start from Eugene, Seb last, because Seb is going to keep us here for a while. So I'm going to start from Eugene. What do you think? What do you think is your number one or your top three players in AF right now?
I'll just keep it at number one. I'm just going to throw a wrench in the works. There's something I kept saying at the beginning of not the end of last year. Ruin has been the most glazed player, and I love the guy. But saying that he's the game changer that now Paradox needed, moving to Paradox is the game changer they needed, I don't see it. He's in the top three, yes, but he is not the game changer that everyone has made him out to be. I'm sorry.
Which one? So who's number one? Who's number one then?
I'd keep it. Hold on, I had my list here. I was doing my homework here, and they all came from the same team. Ooh. Sadly, they all came from the same team. It was of course it's the same team. It started with it all came from but Ruin is in the third. Ruin came in a close third. Ayor came in first, and I kept Mantra second. Sorry.
Wow.
Mantra?
Well, I wouldn't really argue with it. I did keep Ayor in my number two, I think. So I wouldn't really argue with that. But yeah, I don't know. Senez, what do you think about that? What do you think about that, this one?
Yeah, I would definitely remove Mantra and put in maybe Charisma. But Rain over Charisma, I think Rain and Ayor, I rate them like on the same level, to be honest. But I think there were arguments in Clan Leaders just a couple of weeks ago, and I was convinced that yes, Ayor is actually the better player slightly, but Rain has just been consistent all year in all teams he went to be honest. Yeah, I can saw in the chat talking about Darox. Darox is definitely one of the top players.
Yeah,
I think we are
no
talking based off like last year, right? Darox chose not to perform in the qualifiers for World Champs. Played a couple of tournaments early on in the season. I think was it SSS? Or what team? He did well. He did fairly or Paradox rather with Paradox.
Yeah,
he did fairly well. But I think towards the middle part of the year when he didn't participate in the qualifiers, so we didn't see much of Darox. He was more of a coach. So yeah, let's see how he does this year.
Yeah, for sure. I did say in my list, if he was active in comms last year, he would be my number one, no doubt. He's a very highly skilled player. We've seen the man over and over again. But I didn't really get to see him anywhere in comms, so I couldn't put him in that list at all. But he wasn't my honorable mention. So now, Chairman, this guy has been bullying his face. He just ready to bomb us with stats and numbers and facts and
see. We need to be one thing about me when it comes to speaking my mind. I'm very honest, right? Like I don't have anybody that like I'm afraid of offending them, right? So I'll say it as it is, right? Now, when it comes to who the best players are, we can look at it in a myriad of ways, right? We can come up with imaginary statistics or criteria, right? But for once, I'm actually going to like do away with all of that and like just say, objectively speaking, what do I think? If I was to arrange a team of 5, right, out of any player in Africa, assuming chemistry was like guaranteed and they all speak the same language and they're in the same location and But if I had to arrange a team of 5 that I was confident were the absolute 5 best players in Africa, right, it would be Darox. Darox would definitely be there, right? Ruin would definitely be on the team as well, right? Ayor would definitely be on the team, right? Simpsy would definitely be on the team. You see that group of 4, in my own personal opinion, come rain, come shine, those are the 4 undisputed best players in Africa, in my opinion. Now, you see that last number 5, I have 3 players that I feel like, you know, depending on whose day it is, they can easily peep each other, right? And then I have Toxic, I have Charisma, and I have 7KXN. right? So as far as I'm concerned, the top four, Darox, Simzi, Ayo, and Ruin, in my opinion, in no particular order, right? I feel like I would have Darox first actually, and then the remaining three in no particular order. I feel like depending on whose day it is, right, they can easily outperform each other. Though I might have Ruin and Ayo above Simzi just because they have more range in terms of what they can use. They can use snipers, shotguns, SMGs, ARs. So maybe I'll pick them over Simzi, right? So yeah, let's say Darox number one, then I would put Ayo and Ruin on the same level, and then I'll have Simzi just below them, right? And then for the last slot, I would have Charisma, Toxic, and 7KXN fighting to the death, last man standing. That's my own personal opinion, disregarding stats and tournament wins and all that rubbish. Like just purely based on like objective reasoning in terms of what I think about how well they can perform on their best day and how often they show that best performance.
Okay. First of all, I think you asked for top three, right, Carl?
Mona, no stress me. Mona, no stress me. Please,
Answer like
please.
a politician. Like a politician, man. Like
Okay. The
nothing.
top three is Darox, Ruin, and Ayo. Then now, like I literally said, Darox is above everybody. Ruin and Ayo, in my opinion, are on the same level. So that's the top three, right? Then fourth, Simzi. Then 5, 6, 7, all of them together. Toxic.
Again, bro.
I'm sorry now. I have to explain so people understand.
No, you're maintaining relationships. What you're doing is called PR. Okay.
No, it's not PR though. Like I think the reason why I said this is because I mean initially when someone said mantra, I was like, no, why mantra?
Yeah.
Right? In my head, I'm like, no. But then I realized that mantra is, in my opinion, inarguably the best sniper in Africa right now. Like, or at least if we are insisting on when we argued about that and Fadi, what was the argument? Who performed on the biggest stage when the lights were brightest? Right? That was what it came down to. Right? When the lights were brightest, Mantra was dog walking every single sniper that he came across. Right? So in my opinion, he's the most valuable S&D player. Right? And I feel like that should count for something. But I feel like on the response side, his respawn utility brings him down a little bit. Now, the opposite is true for Charisma. I feel like Charisma is one of the most scary respawn players to come up against. But I also feel like Charisma is very limited in terms of his utility. There's a certain way you have to use him to get value out of him, right? And that's why I have like people like Ruin and what's this guy? Ruin and Ayo, because Ayo can play SMG shotgun if you need close range fights. He can play AR if you need long range. He snipes, if you need a sniper in S&D. Same thing with Ruin. But you see Darox is an outlier. He's just so good at what he does that you don't even need him to do anything else. Just go and be you. Do what you want. He's too good. Like, he's too good. In my opinion, anyways.
Okay.
I've noticed that in all our top fives or top threes, there's one player that I would expect to top 27%, because Sam don't call 20 players, bro. Like Loki, I want to ask about one person that I think actually hear a lot more often, but even picking Mantra over that player gives me questions. Yeah. Where's Charisma in all these top 5, top 8?
I told you Charisma is with Toxic now. I told you Charisma is with Toxic and Toxic and who did I even say? 7KXN. 3 of them, in my opinion, are a similar level player. Right. Now, why I won't pick Charisma over Ayo is that if I need an AR, Ayo will still play AR. If I need a sniper, Ayo will still snipe. Right. So I'll pick Ayo over Charisma because of range. Right. So yeah, I feel like Charisma suffers from range. This is my own opinion. No. I'm not saying that it is law. Right. But I feel like Charisma suffers from like being limited. Everybody just sees him as that aggressive SMG that runs all over the place getting you kills. That's the perception I have of him. Sure, he can probably do other roles as well. But if I need an AR, I'm not going to think twice. Like before I screen him out and look for like better options. Right.
Okay. So yeah, I think we've all dropped our top fives. I want to bring in one more person to the shift before we go to our next section. That's going to be Jiggy. He's somewhere hiding behind this whole thing, and we want to bring Jiggy in, and go and ask him. Yeah, now, mind you, for some special context, Jiggy is the owner of Eclipse Gaming. So by that, also a very good friend of Dad, who Seb has scored a 6/10 body. So I want to go and see what Jiggy has to go and say about that. I want to see what he has to go and say about that. And of course, maybe give us a little walk down or behind the scenes info on Eclipse Gaming and how they have fared through in 2026. So hopefully, once we have Jiggy. Yes, Eugene?
This man, this man at the Curry First Cup, right before Delta went on stage, it was Eclipse versus Delta. He comes right up to me and says, "I am so sorry for what we're about to do to you East Africans." He apologizes. I don't like him. I don't like him.
Yeah. I mean, I love the confidence. I love it, man. Yeah, it's a confidence. You need to go do something that day. Right? Clean. But yeah, we are going to be hosting in Jiggy soon. Before we move into our next session, we have a couple more things to go and show you guys, talk to you guys about. We also still have a couple of pro players to go and invite, so you guys can actually throw hands at them and ask them what you want to ask them. We're also going to have a little session for you guys on the chat so we can hear your opinions. You know what? I think before we bring in Jiggy, while we bring in Jiggy, you guys on the chat, we have 37 on TikTok. I don't know how many on Twitch, but you guys can drop in your comments and tell us who you think your top 5 players in Africa was for 2025 going into 2026, and we are going to be calling them out, me and Seb. So you guys let us know who are your top 5 players in Africa while we go and bring in the man from Eclipse Gaming himself, Jiggy. You guys let us know in chat. Well, while you guys are typing, we also have a little re-emergence here that we eventually have to go and talk about. I'm very sure a lot of you, I'm very sure Senez for one has seen the transfer news and all that. Seb has. Eugene, I think you have. I know I have. I know Jared does not have eyes anymore, so Jared has not seen it. But there's also been a little behind the scenes. But I mean, Jiggy's here now, guys. So let's watch Jiggy in first. So, hello, guys. Welcome into Jiggy, the man from Eclipse Gaming, and Seb's arch nemesis for today. Hello, Jiggy. How are you doing, man?
My guy, how far now? Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Thank you, Real Time Production. Thank you, Senez. It's nice seeing you again, Abuderby, and hope to see you this year sometime soon.
I hate you. Don't talk to me. I hate you.
As for my guy Seb, everyone knows Seb is an S7 fan. I don't really have much to say, but see, I'm actually happy with what Real Time is doing because over the years we've always had baseless arguments. We've argued without stats. We've argued without figures and all that. This same type of argument came up sometime last year after Carry First. They were like, Fadi outperformed Demo in S&D's Carry First. I was like, "Guy, what are you guys saying? This guy aced the Kenyans. He went band, I mean, what's it called? He went band for band with Michael."
Yeah.
And Seb said Fadi was better than and Demo.
No, it wasn't me. It was definitely not me. I wouldn't say. I literally said Demo has finally paid back the debts. Everything I ever said about Demo, where I said he was going to start in cast, and you people all called me a madman. I said, finally, you people have seen what I was saying. So that wasn't me. It was definitely not me.
All right, no wala.
Wait.
No wala.
You said Demo was going to start in cast?
Yeah, I said it last 2 years gamer. Last 2 years game, I said he was that good that if he plays on cast, he will eventually start starting.
Whoever said you're a madman might have not been too far from it.
He wasn't too far from the truth, man.
Did any cast player drop 21 S&D kills in stage 4? In fact, did any player in any region, not even Zai, not even Ulin, drop 21 kills with a sniper in one S&D match in stage 4?
It's just that clutch moment, right? You get that once in a blue moon, like once in a lifetime moment. It's not in your favor.
Yeah, but there are players that have only won the World Cup once. There are players that have only won the Champions League once. There are players that have only won the NBA finals once. And nobody says, "Oh well, you only won it once." So why we saying once? Like for him to have done it that once, the quality is there. The lights were bright, and he showed up.
Seb, there's something you said I actually want to dispute. You said I've forgotten how you phrased it. You were like Fadi plays among stars. You were mentioning
Yeah.
virus and all that. Do you know that if you take away, okay, let's say we take away Fadi from an S7 and you take away Dad from an ECL, who do you think would win? You think S7
Obviously,
wins
S7 will
ECL
still win
without
now.
without Fadi?
Well,
And ECL without that.
Yes.
I mean, even with that, you lost to UAX. So I don't understand what
No,
you're.
no, no, you don't divert. You're diverting. Calm down. No, no, that's not what I'm talking about.
It's not
Bro, that's not
competent
what I'm
enough.
talking about. I said take away Fadi from S7 and take away Dad from ECL. Who do you think
Okay,
will
so
win?
okay, so let's do it. Let's do it properly. Fadi without S7 without Fadi. Should we use the current S7 with
Use any
Hadjus?
S7. Use
Okay,
any
okay, okay.
S7.
Okay, so basically you're saying virus, life, hacks, pain,
wait,
and
answer
then
the
Baileys.
question.
You know why? You know why I get?
Jiggy
You
is
know
trying
why I
to set
get
the trap for
angry?
you.
No, no, Senez, chill. Sorry, so I'm sorry. You
No,
know why
I
I
just
get
want to
angry
be
with
sure.
Seb?
No,
Seb
wait.
talks
I will answer
about
your question now.
Seb, chill
I
now.
just
No, no,
wanted to
just
be
chill.
sure.
Seb talks about this, like he compares S7 ECL, like when S7 and ECL plays, they like play us like 3-0, 3-1. And all. It doesn't make sense because the games are so close that guy, you dey vex me. Oh. You dey
Okay,
vex
now
me. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
wait. Let me explain something. Right? When you lose to someone and they beat you 2-1, you say, it was close. You know, they got lucky. Right? When they do it twice, you say, close again. Right? When they do it 7 times, it doesn't matter again that they are only beating you by 1 goal. What will matter is that you've lost 7 times in a row. Do you understand? I mean, if I didn't believe in Eclipse, I would not have invested in you guys' qualifying for grand finals, right? I genuinely believed in the team, and I thought you guys were going to win, and you guys came close. You had equal map counts. The only reason why they qualified above you was because they had winners bracket advantage. That was the only reason why they won, right? It was 7-6 total map count, right? But then they did it so many times that it was irrelevant. The actual map count became irrelevant because they kept beating you like 2-1, 3-1, 2-1, 3-1, 2-1. It was too much. At some point, you have to accept. It's not hate.
But now we're going team versus team. No longer team
Uh,
versus players.
But yeah, see what I'm saying? S7 without Fadi, in my opinion, is still the best team in Nigeria because you're talking about a team that has virus, life, hacks, pain, and then Baileys or Saints. That's still a number 1 team in Africa. But then Eclipse without that. Okay, what is Eclipse without that? Let's hear from you. Vector, Abi, Daddy Coco. Who else? Time. Like
Garrett.
You're mentioning. I think you're mentioning the old Eclipse right now. Also, I want to put this out there. Around after Carry First, a lot of people came and they were like complaining. Okay, so yeah, okay. So after Carry First, a lot of players came, not just players, they were like, oh, you guys, you top teams, you don't give tier 2 players opportunity, you don't recruit rookies, you don't give players who have talent opportunities. And I want to put it out there that Eclipse we've like recruited like three solid rookies. So you guys should look out for Eclipse this year. We are not bottling again. Don't worry, Seb. It will
Carl is
shock
there
you.
now, guys.
Nice,
your
nice
account,
plug.
that's-
Nice plug. Well done, Jiggy. Nice plug.
But yeah, guys, we've had such an amazing segment so far. We want to move on to another one of our segments we want to go and talk about. And it's a very important part of the scene right now. there's been, now we're coming into 2026. First of all, we know we're going to have World Champs. Of course, we're going to have a lot more events come into play, possibly, hopefully, an EWC. That is just dreams and hopes at this point, man. But anyways, a lot of teams are being formed. A lot of old teams are coming back. A lot of new teams are being formed. A lot of retired players are coming back to the scene. Even Seb has bought the Red Magic 11. He wants to go and start playing comms. So more go to the airports. But anyways, Cyclone making a comeback, and of course, we have been hearing a lot of rumors about Cast Esports looking to come back to the esports scene. And Cyclone, no, is no longer a rumor, though we have seen the news, and they have already signed players. So, man, Cyclone is actually back. What do you think about that, guys?
Start, and it's not going to be a nice take.
No, wait. Abu Dhabi, wait. I want Senez, please let Senez start because his team, his org was utterly terrorized by Cyclone. So it is only right that he should be the one to start. He's probably getting PTSD as we speak. He's probably getting PTSD as we speak.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so how do you want to define terrorized in terms of like championships or them stealing players? Which one? Because we did beat Cyclone, right, in the Mobile Miem season 2, right? We defeated Cyclone and Cast like comfortably. Yeah, I'm not saying Rage was a better team than Cyclone. Don't get me wrong, but when you're saying terrorized, come on, you can't put that in the same bracket. Yes, they did steal a lot of Rage players, and that's to show how good the Rage system was, right? Like where we kept on finding ourselves in situations where we develop players or we, add players that could end up going to a team like Cyclone. Yeah, Cyclone was always the bigger team than Rage. So, yeah. So let's just shut that aside.
How do you feel now that they're back?
Yeah. So about Cyclone being back, I think it's just a case of was it 10? Is it FIFO or like fear of missing out? FOMO, right? Yeah. Like it's just a case of fear of missing out. Like they've seen, how the scene was last year. There's a pathway to champs. So I think they just want to get a taste of it. That's one. And two, I think it's a case, we all know how these things go in the scene, right? Once there's a roster that's available, they go around looking for sponsors. The players are looking for money. That's the end point of it. So I'm sure they've gone to wake up Kira and Lesh that they should come sponsor the team after they left Paradox. So it's still a players thing. Like players will go around begging you, hey, come back. I know players that have been in my DM about Rage. You know, we say Rage, no, we no guide like that. They say we get money now. So, so,
I
so
appreciate
yeah,
the honest. I
that's the
appreciate the
truth.
honest.
That's the truth. So Cyclone coming back is not case of the org. It's just players looking to put their roster in an organization, and that's it.
I mean, well, Sonny take that, I guess. Eugene, please, what do you have to say, man?
First, I'm going to just come out and say the hard part. And Carl, you and I know that we decided to have this discussion up front and publicly as well. Senez, for the future of the transfer window, we are asking like maybe Carry First should consider removing the country boundary in terms of the world champs, because I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm solo on this line of thought, but
I don't think so.
I think the country restriction is very limiting, and yes, having guys recruit from other countries will have its own monster in terms of which teams have more money than others. But in terms of Cyclone and Cast, I'm not exactly as phased or excited about it because I feel like yes, the exact word Senez used is FOMO. We're trying to those two teams ruled the day pre-COVID, and I think they're trying to relieve the glory of the past. That this is the COD that was there in 2020 and 21 is not the Call of Duty Mobile we have right now. That's yeah, it's not the same one. So poaching maybe from Rage, yeah, I I don't. It's a step, but it's not a game changer either.
Okay, so let me just address the first point you raised about multinationals in a team. So, as I explained previously, like it has been a gradual step, right? Like you don't expect that Carry First Africa Cup will come or World Champs qualifiers will come and there'll be this big changes, that would occur. So initially, the two things we needed to tackle was the ping differences, right, which has always been a major issue in terms of like servers. We have only servers in South Africa and Nigeria, and you have players from North Africa playing on the European server. So in most tournaments, like it was usually held, maybe a South African team or South African players could not play on a certain server, or Nigerian players could not play on a certain server. So that was what we tried to balance out with the whole region scope of things. And mind you, the fact that the Carry First Africa Cup was in that format, right? It brought a lot of attraction to the scene and to the tournament. Now you had TV stations in Ghana, wanting to be a part of this because there was a Ghanaian team in the event, right? You had TV stations in Uganda, Kenya. I'm sure you are very much aware about all that now. Like wanting to be a part of driving, the event, the fact that it's an African event, and we had like a Kenyan team, we had an Ugandan team, right? That was all good, right? And it's like gave that publicity to the Carry First Africa Cup, and that's why Activision noticed. If we didn't do all of that, or if we didn't follow that format, I don't think we might have had champs last year. I might be wrong, but the point I'm trying to raise is that that format and that system pushed Africa out there, and that's why we had Carry First Africa Cup on TV, on radio. So that's what attracted Activision. Like, okay, they might have been discussing it internally, that someday they need to give Africa a slot, but I think that's what like quickened the process. So on the second year for the Carry First Africa Cup, we could not just abandon all that and say, hey, there's one chance, multinationals, because Activision was very much involved in the process, right? Maybe I'm yapping too much, but they were very much involved in the process, and there were certain standards that they wanted to maintain, at least for a start. Now, this year, it might be different, of course, but I cannot outrightly say, hey, teams can go recruit players from 5 different countries or whatever. So just take it with a grain of salt, right? There's a chance where teams will be allowed to have players from other countries, but it might be limited. That's what I'll say. So you will still have like teams representing certain countries. You still have a Delta from Kenya, but the amount of like other nationals like you might have, I don't know what conditions might be placed around it. So we'll see. I think the roadmap this year will come out early or earlier than last year. So Activision is trying to, quicken the process. They're trying to do a lot of work with their esports to make sure, things are early. We don't have the situation of visa issues that happened last year. So if Activision is going quick, Carry First will also have to like follow pace. So yeah.
That's better than nothing, honestly.
Let me just say something. I feel like I'm actually one of the few people that actually believe in the sim union national thing. I think it was a very brilliant idea, and I agree that now in hindsight it's easy to say, oh, why not make it multinational? But then those of us that have been in this scene for long enough know that every tournament is basically a battle of ping, right? The moment it becomes multinational, you may have 4 countries, I mean 4 teams coming out of South Africa. Why? Because they will always pull you to their server and they will beat you mercilessly because all of them apparently they live in the same neighborhood with where the server is. Do you understand?
Sorry. There's something I forgot to mention. Please don't expect that if there's going to be multinationals, you would have a player in Morocco playing from there, and his team is in South Africa. Please, you have to fly the player to wherever your team is. Oh. That's the way it's going to be if it does happen. So I'm just trying to clarify that point about the ping. So definitely, you will still be playing from a country that's the rest of your teammates are, because that's the argument that have been made, right? Like you had OUG fly players from North America into Asia, and so that's where it's going to be. So yeah.
Exactly. So that makes sense now. If it's about traveling, then yeah, totally fine. But if it was that they will play from their houses, it's asinine. in my
Seb, I beg,
opinion.
Yeah,
I want to
look,
ask you, where's your house address, Seb? I want to come and visit you. Bro.
Make
yeah,
make
I was
no,
actually
no
saying this.
men they find me for streets. May they come
No, no,
box me.
I was saying the same thing. I was going to say thank you, Senez, for that clarification. And while you were talking, Seb, I was trying to Google how to slap someone via the screen because you deserve it.
Bro, like
See,
we're literally fighting for a point here, and he's just saying the opposite thing. I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
bro,
See,
stop your address, bro.
I'm not stupidly optimistic.
We'll
Like
find you.
I'm a realist. Like I think that the thing with people pushing for extreme conditions is that they always imagine that they will be the ones who will benefit. But when you put yourself in the shoes of those that will lose out, you will be scared, right? Obviously, if you're a paradox, if you're an ace gamers, you want multinational because you have the money to pull all the best players in the world. But if you're an Aura 233, right, or you're a Delta, and your only
Come
chance
on,
of qualification
bro.
Yeah,
Aura
yeah,
has
bro.
money.
it's not about
Don't
money.
go
That's not
there.
my point. That's not my point.
But
My
he said
point is,
money.
wait first. You hear what I'm saying about Aura and Delta? Your only chance of qualification, right, is to play in a region where you barely have any competition, right? You
Aura
don't
get
want
money.
multinational.
Just
They
putting
get
it out
money.
there.
Nobody say they don't get money. They get money,
Aura
Help me
get
but they
tell
also
am.
have fiscal discipline. They also have fiscal discipline, right? They will not spend money anyhow. They spend the money within reason. Do you understand? Which is more than we can say for some other orgs. I will not call names, right?
Yes, promotion, tag them.
Turner. but then but then um uh back to Cyclone, which is what we're talking about. Like I I think you guys forgot something. Cyclone did not come back to come and arrange the roster. Like Senez said, it is the roster that went to go and carry Cyclone. So basically, the summary is what used to be Beer Clan last year is now Paradox. And what used to be Paradox last year is now Cyclone. So it's not really like a new org is coming or an org is coming back. It's just a name change for all intents and purposes. That's all it is. Maybe one or two players swapped around, but by and large, it is just a name change. Beer Clan rebrands to Paradox, Paradox rebrands to Cyclone. So yeah, I don't expect them to have any issues. Unfortunately, I don't still see them beating Beer Clan, beating Paradox. That's Charisma and Co. I feel like Charisma and his team are still going to beat Paradox. Why am I saying Paradox? I still feel like the Egyptians are going to beat the South Africans. That's my own personal opinion. So congratulations to Ruby Lesh and the rest of the Cyclone team for coming back. But they will be second best in my opinion.
All right. I think we've dwelt. This was a double pointer segment, and we've dwelt so heavily on one particular segment, which is of the Cyclone. What about Cast? Cast is back. Rumors of them being
Cass
back,
is back.
and they're not just back. I
Cast
heard that
who?
he said, "Yes,
Who?
they
Cast
find your
who?
address." Bro.
I've actually,
them.
I didn't speak
them.
about Cast.
Let me
I didn't speak about
let me
Cast.
read
Wait, sorry. I
my-
want
Wait,
to,
guys, is Cast actually back?
wait.
Am I in
I
the
wanted,
dark?
I want to go off now.
Let
I
me
wanted
run.
to just say I didn't speak about Cast because I have not heard anything about it. Like I'm hearing it for the
Exactly.
first
No,
time.
that's why I'm here. I'm here for the rumors. They
Have
are
they picked
back.
an East African roster or something?
They're back, and they're currently looking to bring back their OG players. It's not just Cast coming back and picking up a random roster. From what the rumors tell us, they are picking up their OG players, the players you
Tiano.
know in Cast, the players that played the last Cast
I'm sorry.
event. They are
Tiano.
picking those players back. So we're talking about Nundi, talking about Mies coming back to the
But
same.
Nondi is in
talking about
Cyclone
Tiano
already
taking-
now.
So yeah, but that's what we're saying. Cast are looking to get their OG players back. They're already making moves about it. I've had a couple inside
Oh,
info.
wait
So
them
if
warm
that
up,
were to
Joe.
happen, what would that be like?
There's this popular saying, right? Where they say, "Leave the game before it leaves you." So I think Etiano has realized that and he's into casting and doing very well, perfectly well, in that with that job. Etiano was perfect at the land finals. Mies, I've not seen much of Mies, honestly. Nondi, I don't think Nondi will be, I don't want to use stupid as the word, but I don't think Nondi will be naive to leave his current roster and go join a cast that was barely there. And Simsy will definitely not do that too. Simsy likes to be in the winning circle. But let's see, maybe if they can poach Nondi and Simsy, it will still be basically maybe the roster at Cyclone change because Toxic is also there. So you have Toxic, you have Nondi, you have Simzi already at Cyclone. So it's basically a case of swapping names, swapping from Cyclone to Cast. That's just basically it. So I don't see any
I don't,
change, honestly.
I don't even know how that will happen. Taking away Simsy from Cyclone, taking away Simsy from Kira, unless it's almost impossible.
Yeah,
Jiggy,
but well,
this is how it will
I
happen.
also did hear that Carl is getting signed by Cast Sports. But anyways, Carl is joining PDX, guys, and also Bear at the same time. Crazy stuff. But anyways, we are now going to our next segment. This is one of the most important segments in the game. And for the show, rather, not the game. This is not a game. This is the show, guys. But that big. We are now going to one of our most important segments. This is the analysis segment where we actually get to analyze a full game. And for the sake of this first final second podcast for 2026, we are going to be analyzing the stage 4 world champs, the final game between PDX and Bear. And production will let me know when they're ready so we can do that. Unfortunately, my co-host Seb, his wife is giving birth right now to 4 kids, so he has to run to the hospital and go and deliver with her. So yeah, I'm joined by my 3 wonderful guests here. So we're going to be inviting your pro players to join the stream very soon. But before that, we are going to be analyzing the Carry First Africa Cup Grand Final Road to World Champ Stage 5. The very final game we had, that was PDX and Bear. Before we go and get the on-screen graphics, I'm going to start from top left. Jiggy, what do you think about that game? You know, what could have happened? What could have changed? Was there any world where PDX won the game? What do you think PDX needed to do that?
Yeah, I think what happened in that game, especially that the slums, I'm talking of the slums, the last HP. Assuming, I think there was this Simsy ran, he left the points with his equalizer that led to his death. Assuming he didn't die there, honestly, it would have been a different story. I think that was the only reason they lost that game because he left that point with his equalizer. That's I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure.
Well, I think we are all watching the game right now, and again, I see PDX in chat saying, "Oh, well, PTSD." You know, a lot of flashbacks coming from them right now as they on the chat. But I think this is a very tough game, and like Seth did say before he went on the stream, this was where the game started to go and change. It was somewhere around this point here where we eventually got things heated in. You know, the game was actually back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, up until the final P2 and P3. That was where the game went to a totally different angle. And I mean, if you look at the minimap right now, you can clearly see this hard point just started. It's 57 on the clock, and it's PDX have the lead. There was some point in time where I was so sure PDX were going to win this game, like it was their game. I was so freaking sure. And then we just saw that next half rotation come into play. They were able to hold that P2 down for almost a full 60, dominated the hard point, got the lead, and then that was where things started to get weakened. Right now, we're still in this P1 though, but eventually going into P2, you're going to see what I'm talking about, Senez.
Yeah, so for me, I would say it's a bit unfair to use this particular map, like this was what, the 5th or 4th map, the 5th map, right? HP, to judge why PDX lost the entire thing, because they had the first map, they had add points. I think was it Control that PDX finally won. Like Bear Clan outrightly dominated them, you know, throughout the modes. So I would say I would say Bear Clan came more prepared than PDX, and they were destined to win. So you can't just say what PDX could have done differently and, you know, judge it based off this map, because this map they both went at each other, like it was band for band, and it could have gone anybody's way. And you can't try to say because Simzi left the point with his equalizer. Nah, like you don't judge games like that. You could have been in the point and a nade could have hit him from nowhere and he will still die. You know, he did what he could do, and he judged, you know, the situation at that moment the best he could. You could have said Charisma could have lost his gunfights at that moment, right? To clutch, and
Jared, please pause the game. Jared, please pause the game. Please pause the game, Jared.
So it's I think it's difficult to judge it based off one moment, you know, in this particular at points game. But overall, across the other maps, I would say like Bear came more prepared.
All right, so what we want to do now, though, is a breakdown of this map 5. I get your point, and analyzing the whole thing off of one map is definitely not the way. But we just want to do a breakdown of, you know, what could have happened different on the hard point game to further maybe extend the map or give them another hope or whatever. But I think if we could go back to where this P2 started, Jade, if we could go back to where the P2 started and, you know, rewind from that point basically and let's look at what could have happened different in those two hills. Yeah, if PDX might have been able to force another map, hopefully, because I think that's the whole point of this whole thing. We saw this P1 where it was really close. That the lead was still. Jerry took us all the way back to
Yeah,
the
it's
beginning of
difficult
Hardpoint,
to
bro.
go back on YouTube. I was about
He's
to say
doing the
just
most,
to
bro.
declare it.
Jerry's doing the most. But
It's very
yeah, we
difficult to
want to
go
go
back.
back to the. We want to go to like the P1 before the P2 of the last P2, Jerry. We want to go to the last P1, the final, yes, before the major P2 and P3 happened. But yeah, towards the 180 point mark. We want to go there and talk about that part. And Jerry's just taking us back and forth, guys. We're gonna have a little show here, but uh, I want to go and look at that rotations. Who went to that next P2 first? Who locked it in? Because at some point you could see that somehow Bear had the spawn, PDX had the hard point time, and Bear were finding it hard to break out of that spawn until eventually they found a way. And then if it also somehow even P3, PDX also got that P3 first, mind you. They got P3 first as well, and we thought maybe surely they would hold it down. But Bear still found a way to stomp that and break it and win the whole thing there. So I'm just like wondering what could have happened differently for PDX, on that P2 and P3 that might have maybe been able to get them that win and extend it to a different game entirely.
They
Honestly,
keep telling you guys to mute. Sorry, they keep telling you guys to mute a particular sound. I don't know if
Oh,
they
please mute the game sound. Yeah, maybe mute the
sound.
game sound.
No.
We don't need the game sound on the stream. We don't need the game sound. Just need to see what the visuals for them.
yeah, honestly, the original
Jerry,
question
could you please
was,
go to that pizza, Jared? Please go on, Eugene.
oh yeah,
Is this a
honestly,
pizza?
your original question was what could have what paradox would have changed to help them win? Honestly, nothing. Absolutely nothing. You replay this, I have replayed this exact game hundreds of times, not hundreds, at least maybe like 10 times since this happened, because they did everything right. They were first to rotate on every hill towards us. By the time we started the second rotation of every hill, they were first to rotate. They were first to get to P1. They were first to get to P2. And the money hill, then the hill that won it all, P3, they were still first. And like you mentioned, Bear just found their way to break in every single time. The only thing I feel they could have changed was the deployment of the operator's skills. The point where they might have deployed these skills a bit too early at certain points towards P2 and P1, that they lost all effectiveness and allowed Bear to gain some sort of ground and keep stay within staggering distance. But honestly, this game played out perfectly. This was the perfect example of hardpoint. It should be shown in classes for the rest of our lives because this was perfect. But I don't think there was anything Paradox would have changed here. I still think, as an integrity, the deployment of the operative skills was a bit too early on certain points. But let's see on the replay. Maybe everyone else will feel differently.
Okay, let's watch the game here. Now, look at that minimap. I want to get a zoom at that minimap there. And this is going into us P2, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, Jared? This is going towards the P2. This is P1. Okay, let's go all the way to P2. Let's go all the way now to P2. Can we just forward this all the way to P2? I want to go and see how they got there first and what routes they needed to block off. So if we can go all the way to P2, can we forward the game to P2? This is still P1. This is where things were just back and forth, nade's thrown, smoke's thrown. Eventually P1 starts to expire and they need to start making that way towards that P2. And you can look at that. Okay, now pause here. Pause. Look at the minimap. Look at the minimap right now. Exactly what we talked about. Please pause the game. Look at the minimap. You can see PDX. They're already at P2. They already have player number 1 and player number 5 from that spawn. If you circle that, they already have 2 players already holding that spawn. They have player number 4 already on the hard point time, trying to hold that down for them. And somehow they already have map control. That's the thing. They have perfect map control here. They are losing a little bit of scrap on the P1, but that ultimately does not mean anything. If you could find a way to hold it, they also have player number 2 holding this small room as well. So you can't even pass through. You're going to get shot down. That's one angle to make sure nobody comes through from the other spawn. So those are very vital points, And then if we continue to play the stream, you still see somehow, even though PDX had the map control, they had the proper spots to hold in, somehow BA were able to go and take that spawn and force PDX to spawn out. PDX still had the hill time, yes, but they were spawning out. I don't know, what level of witchcraft that was, to be honest.
I was waiting for anyone else to go, but okay. So at this point, like you just mentioned, especially when you did well to draw on the minimap to see they had every point covered. Ingress points were covered, but look, this is the deployment for the War Machine. This is exactly what Seb was talking about, Daniello on the War Machine earlier, and they're staggering to keep your eye on the scoreline there at this point. Then another Sparrow. You didn't need to use it at that point. The hill was already clear. Save that up. That point where he wasted the Sparrow, he didn't hit anything. The deployment of the operator skills should have had better communications there. Each of them should have known they have this on lock and use it. At what point someone would know we have the hill right now. Can we maintain control? They lose it here. Bear breakthrough. There is Simpsy finding his way in, contest. They buy for time. They still went into P3 in the lead, Paradox. They
Jared,
had
please
it.
pause. Jared, please pause. Please pause it, Jared. Now look at the minimap again, Eugene. I want to point out something. Again, like you did say, their rotations were perfect. It was nothing short of being perfect. Like they always rotated first. They got to look at the next deal now. This is now going towards P3. Player number 1 in the hard point time. Player 5 and 2 already making their way for that spawn. So one person watches spawn, one person watches that entrance on P1, and then player number 4. So like literally they had perfect sports to hold down. So I just don't know how they have the spawns, they have the better part of sports to hold in, and they still somehow let Bear absolutely full swarm them. So if just maybe keep playing the stream here and then see what happens again.
There it is. At this point, it's starting to show this was boiling down who had the better gunfights. 1v1s.
Yeah.
Because there it is. We start off hill P4, P3. Who's in the lead? It's Paradox. By a thin lead, but it's still one they could have held the corner. He loses it. He was on his own and they've been cleared. Gunfights, all 1v1s lost. Finds his way through. By this time, it's way
Now please
too
pause.
late.
Pause it, Jared. Pause it, please. Now look at the minimap. See where now look at the minimap. If we can get a zoom in on that minimap now. Let's get a zoom in. Now you saw the way Bear pushed that. They sent a full five-man push into the hill. They were able to destabilize PDX, and then PDX now the two players, player number 2 and 4, they were holding that spawn. And they eventually started, they had to come push out to help the hard point. Hopefully, that would have been able to save them a little, the hard point time. But then that was a very big mistake because as soon as they pushed out, we now see player number 5 and player number 4 going in for that spawn, flipping out the spawn, and now Bear have the spawn, they have hard point context, and no matter what PDX does at this point in time, mind you, the gunfights are a lot better for PDX, Bear, they seem to win a lot more gunfights, so once you let them get the spawn flip, and you somehow are flipping, you're spawning all the way back at close to P2, that's not good. So there's literally nothing they can do at this point now, because they only have 3 players here, and they are boxed in a 3v3, and I mean, this is where things start to get very, very weekend, no doubt.
And I still insist the point where there are very little things that went wrong here because every team played their role so perfectly. Because on that previous P2 hill, the money hill, that exact point where it's pointed out the sparrow that was wasted could have come so handy when that 5 stack was pushed directly into P3.
Exactly.
The deployment of these operator skills way too early when they didn't need them. It was a bit of panic. They saw the end in sight and they just thought unleash everything, guns blazing on the money hill, which was a mistake.
Get the play on the clip, Jared. Let's take the clip now and get the full view. Now look at the score: 241, 233. Spawns have been flipped out. Mantra goes in, Death Machine, pray and spray. PDX coming to score. The back and forth running in, but now mind you, the spawns have been lost, and the final player for PDX now falls. They're still contesting though. Look at the mini map, but BS to have the spawn. PDX are very, very now far apart. 247, 238, literally a 3-point gap, and they have to make sure they don't lose any more hard point time. But this is it. Bear have full swarmed. They're close. PDX find a way to keep them in the spawn. They keep Bear away from the hard point time. It looked like it was going to happen. Look at Ayo. Please pause it here, man. I'm very sorry. Okay, it already ended. But you saw what Ayo did there. Ayo had to go from behind them. Now, they were all coming through from this door, and there was literally nobody watching the side where the cars are. Nobody was watching it. They were all full swarm the hill. Just find a way to not let them get the last 3 seconds they need and hopefully win the game for ourselves. And that's exactly what all their focus was on. Keep going through that door. Keep going through that small door. Every single player. And they forgot to account for the side where they can actually flank you. And that's exactly what Ayor did. Came from the side, entered the hard point, got the back shots, finished the game for them. But still, I think this little things that happened might have been a difference somewhere. For real.
Yeah, it was down to the smallest of margins, and it was such a painful way for Paradox to go out. Honestly, very painful because they did everything right,
Honestly,
Be-
to be honest.
everything right. And again, for me, the only thing that I could find was wrong, and even then, it wasn't wrong because it was on P2 and it's a hill that you consider important, but that Sparrow right after the War Machine that has cleared the house. Paradox had the hill, then you still have the Sparrow. You've just unleashed it. What for? You had control. You could have saved it just in case for anything else. But hey, fine margins. Painful way, but Bear did the job.
Yeah, I want to ask Jiggy and Senez. They've somehow been lost in this whole conversation. Are they still there? Senez and
Yeah.
Jiggy, you guys still here?
So I
What do you
initially
guys think
muted my
about
mic,
this about
and I was actually talking. I forgot my mic was muted. Yeah, it happens when you're in meetings and all that. But yeah, I was gonna point out something initially when you had the first pause. You know where Paradox had control of, was it P2? That, yeah, P2, right? In the last rotation, they had control of P2. You notice there was one guy that was behind deep in the spawn by that wall. I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, I think they pushed out, or maybe it got killed by a nade or something. But by the time Beer Clan made their push into the point, like through the spawn, right, there was nobody there. They had vacated that plate. So every PDX player that died kept spawning out because you had more numbers, more Beer Clan players pushing together to try and gain control of the point. So indeed, they lost that spawn. I think ultimately that's what lost them the game. I don't know if we can rewind back to that spot. And I think maybe Jared should show this on Video Ninja because by the time you tell him to pause or go back, like, we are a couple of seconds ahead of
Okay,
the stream.
okay.
So for me, that was the key point I noted. Yeah, operator usage. I think Bear had better operator usage than so you can see the Bear Clan players already at the back. Before, just a couple of seconds before this, you would notice there was a Paradox player at the back there. But
There it is. There it is. The War Machine that cleared the house. There it is.
Yeah, they had better operator usage than them. So I think
And
those
then right. Go on.
yeah, those two key moments were what like changed the tide for them, and Biaklan just had total control after that. Even though there was still opportunity for Paradox to regain control in the next point in the next deal, but I think this was where they lost momentum. If they had like tightened things up in this P2, they probably should have won the map.
I'm seeing
Yeah.
life in the comment section is saying guns. No, Steven says gun skill as well. As in we've already acknowledged that maybe
Yeah, that is
one v
that.
ones. Yeah, no, one v ones were superior for Bear Clan, which is where accounting for the operator skill usage would have come into play for Paradox.
And mind you, they had like I think Eugene did say this earlier on. Throughout the I think the whole map here, PDX had better rotations. It wasn't. It was clear. You always saw them get it first. Like you always saw PDX get to the next hard point first. The next they somehow did lockdown. So it just came down to gun skill and just came down to
Yeah,
able to break together as a team. And be able to do that a lot better.
exactly, because even whatever PDX gets the early rotation, Bear were so confident in their gunfights, right? And the operator usage that they would definitely break that point down.
Yeah. But yeah, guys. I mean, again, this was the first ever analysis on the live stream. So big shout out to Jared. There's a lot to work, and we're gonna do a lot better for the next episode. Hopefully, we're gonna do. There's a lot to work in here. But again, big shout out to everybody at the Has come on. We have one more segment, to go through before we go and say goodbye to episode 3 of the Final Cycle podcast. We are going to be inviting a couple professional players. I want production to go and let me know if they are ready. If they are ready, then we can go to them. But just give me the cue. We still have 3 pro players to go and let you guys throw hands at. This is literally you versus the pro players. We're just going to be observing and letting you guys do all the damage to them. We have live from CR7. I don't know where the man is currently because these guys flip teams every single day of their lives. We have Dad as well coming in, and we have Daniello from South Africa. 2 Nigerians, 1 South African. I mean, what more can you ask for in terms of the beef? Okay, life is in the chat already, waiting for Daniello and Dad to come through. But yeah, before we go to that segment, guys, how has the podcast been so far? How are we feeling?
Yeah, feeling good. Life is already throwing gang signs in here. Wait for him to pop up on the screen. No, behind the scenes, already throwing gang signs. Sign of a Port Harcourt boy. Yeah, I think
No,
so
no.
far the old stream, the old show has been good. It has been great. Sad we can't get Seb in to give us an extended break. Yeah,
To his face. But unfortunately, there's no Seb isn't here anymore, guys. Hopefully, the next episode we get Seb and Dad having that little exchange. But we're waiting for the players to come and join in. And yeah, we've had okay. Life is here already, so I think he's going to be having an audio cue joining, not a cam. I'm not really sure what the site is production. Is he having a cam joining? Or no cam for life? It's going to be an audio joining. So, hello, life. How are you doing, man? How are you feeling? Does he know we can hear him? Does he know we can't hear him?
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Welcome. The Port Harcourt boy.
Alright,
Unfortunately, no gang signs on
normally
stream, bro.
no gang signs, trust.
Unfortunately, man. But yeah, I mean, you had a very amazing year last year. A lot of ups and downs for sure, and you did make it to my top 5 in AF, right? In NG, rather. So, how do you think last year went for you, and what are you looking forward to seeing this 2026, man?
Well, surprisingly, I don't know how I didn't make it into your lists or something, but
No, you were
for
there.
this year, I
Top 5
don't know.
NG. You were.
So 5 NG and I'm not number 1, bro. That's crazy. I saw the list and I was like, nah, that can't be the case now. It's not like how will the best player not be number 1? Think about it. Just because I didn't play one LAN. Come on.
life.
Bro.
Are you
But
speaking
yeah.
Chinese right now? Like number 1.
Nah, I'm
Is that
literally the
Chinese?
best. Come on. I'm literally the best. Let's look at the stats. Come on, I'm the best. But let's don't. So for this year, I can't really say. We haven't really played anything important. The team. Oh shit, my net's up. Sorry, can you hear me now? I think I
Yeah,
disconnected
it's
a
loud
bit.
and
Yeah. Yeah. So
Go on, please.
Port Harcourt network.
Port Harcourt, bro. I swear. Port Harcourt, that's all, bro.
You experienced it firsthand, right?
Well, we did, right? At the Dojo Battle, no doubt. We did. Big shout out to Karius for that one as well. Big shout out to Karius first. But yeah, unfortunately, our Port Harcourt friend, he's back. Hello, man. All right. Okay, Jade.
In the
please
comment
note-
section, Pin said,
Jerry,
see my
notes-
teammate network.
Jerry, you know what's gonna happen? Write it down. We Dad is here, guys. We have Dad. So Port Harcourt is not real. Hello says PH not real. I can't lie, bro. Now we have Dad in the studio. Daniello is not here yet. Hopefully he does join in before we end the podcast. But we now have Dad, my number 1 player in NG. A lot of you disputed that fact. Well, now you guys can go and ask Dad. You guys in the comment section, you guys can ask anything you want us to ask Dad, and we could ask him anything at all, except for if he has a girlfriend because he's single. You guys ask him whatever you want to ask him. But yeah, Dad, hello man, Dad, how are you feeling? Welcome to the stream, Dad. What? It feels so weird. I found Dubem. Welcome to the stream, Dubem. God, I beg, Dad, okay. Why is he? Wait, is he a PhD? Is Daddy what that comes, guys?
That is aura farming. You can't see
Oh,
him, but he's
God.
waving at everyone.
He's throwing gang signs and waves. Hello.
He
Can you
can't
guys
play
hear me?
that.
Can you guys hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay. First of all, I'm not single. I don't know why you guys are saying I'm single.
Oh,
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know when I was started.
We believe you. We believe you. But yeah, welcome to the stream, Dad. Welcome to the stream. Before I even ask you anything, there's already a comment asking from Valerio saying, what does Dad look forward to in 2026? So you answer. What do you look forward to this year in the esports scene? Codem?
Okay, esports. Um, well, um, hmm. Nigeria. How let's it. I'm looking past Nigeria. A lot of people they always debate saying, yeah, I'm the best NG, I'm the second, I'm the third, whatever. But I want to look past Nigeria as a whole because like now that esports is now that esports is like getting bigger, we have to look past Nigeria. So yeah, I'm talking about most of the online tournaments, not only having S7 to worry about. So right now I'm taking everybody as like a serious no, as a serious opponent.
Yeah, go.
One question to follow that up: would you be willing to join a team as a multinational? Like, as would you be willing to join a cast again as a Nigerian player on that
What
roster?
happened?
Don't be political about your answer. Don't worry, Jiggy is not here. Forget about Jiggy.
Did we lose him as well?
Did we lose that?
Oh my god.
No way. No way.
Okay, guys. So, unfortunately, we've lost the two Nigerians. Well, guys, Nigeria has to do
Yeah,
better, man.
I'm
Like
here. No, no,
now,
no, 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 no,
now,
no, no.
now,
Chill.
now. We're,
There's something
oh,
wrong with
oh,
the link people sent. It's logging out
are you
of
sure?
the room. Yeah, it's logged because my network is fine. I could watch like I'm watching with this room, the other my other phone. There's something wrong with the link you
Yeah.
guys sent. It's logging. It's kicking out of the room, so we have to re-log in and put like the details again. I don't
Oh,
know.
really?
Yeah, but Senez, you're asking me a question. What did I what? I didn't catch you.
Okay.
You're saying something about looking past Nigeria, looking at
Oh.
Africa in general. And the question that came to my mind was that would you be willing to play on a multinational team? Like, let's say you have a cast like before where you were the only Nigerian there. Would you be willing to put yourself in that type of situation?
Wow. Can you guys hear me?
You
I hope
know,
you guys can
answer.
hear me.
Don't box
Yeah, we
them.
can. We can. We can hear you.
Oh my god.
Okay. Okay, guys. You know what? We are gonna test out that theory now. If it's the link, now we have Daniello here. I'm sure. We still have Danny, right, Jared? We still have Danny on the. Okay. So, well, okay. Oh, he's even talking. Hello, Daniela. Welcome, our first South African on the podcast. Yeah, have we had any essay? We've only had Nigerians and Kenyans and Ghanaians. But hello, man. You are our first official South African guest. So, how are you feeling, man? How are you feeling?
You guys should work on your link. I don't know. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm currently tired. I just had a very long trip, very long drive, about 8 hours. So I'm a bit tired, but I'm doing good.
Yeah, I have to give a very big shout out to Daniela, guys. He has been on a very long trip. He did say that, but he found a way to make out time to come and talk to you guys, talk to us. And guys, if you're watching this stream, please mute it. Okay, thank you. So Danielo has been on a very long trip around the world, and now he still found a way to make it to the podcast. So big shout out to you, man. And if you guys are on the comment section, you guys can ask him whatever you want to ask him, and we are gonna ask him for you guys. But of course, before you guys gonna start typing in, Eugene Abuderby, do you have any questions? Any special questions for the man Daniello from PDX, from old PDX? I don't know where exactly he is now though.
Not yet, not yet. I just went back to do something. I'm still at work,
Okay.
but
right.
I'll catch up with the
Jiggy?
conversation.
Jiggy, do you have anything to ask Daniello? Danny freaking hello.
I do have some questions to ask him though. I do have some.
All right,
Can I go?
let's take the floor. Let's take the floor.
Yeah. Daniello, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm getting you, man.
Yeah. So I know last year, you did have to make a lot of sacrifices when it came to balancing school and comps. Because I can remember on the day of the LAN, you were the first player to leave Nigeria because he had an exam the next day. I don't think many people knew about that in the sense. It was crazy. Like we actually literally wrap up that event as early as we could to get Daniel on the first flight out of Nigeria that night. So how do you intend on working that out? Is it a case of like you're done with comps? I know currently you're not with any team, but do you see yourself still actively being involved in comps? And if so, how do you intend to balance out school commitments?
Okay, I think there's a bit of confusion. I am still in comp. I am part of a team. I'm now part of Cyclone. Yeah. So the thing with school is that now I've finished high school. I recently got my results. So now, thank you. What's happening now is that I initially had planned to take a gap year because I plan to actually study overseas, but their year only starts in August. That's a bit too long of a wait. So instead, I will be attending university over here for about a year. But in the meantime, because it's not necessarily like too serious, I will have more time to dedicate towards obviously the competitive scene. So yeah, I'm only here for about a year.
Okay, so one thing I have to say to that, pray for the rest of South Africa because the grind is on.
Hold on.
The grind is on.
Yeah, I have a question now. Okay, you said you're with Cyclone. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Who the hell are you? Who the hell are the rest of your teammates? Because now I'm very curious. I just need to know what this Cyclone team looks like now.
Oh, you guys not on the Discord server where it was announced? Oh, okay. So the new Cyclone roster is me, Simpsy, Toxic, Nindi, Logan, Muji. So it's the old PDX roster. It's basically the old PDX roster, but now in Cyclone.
Wow.
Holy shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that is
We only swapped jerseys.
absolute cinema. Okay.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, is that dad coming back? I think. But yeah, guys. Jiggy, do you have anything to ask the Danny freaking Hello himself? Anything for him? Chad hasn't asked you anything, by the way. Chad, don't you guys want to know anything about Danny?
The chat doesn't like
Nah, Chad, look.
They're saying show him. They're saying show Danny.
They want to see Danny, Jared. Production, they want to see Danny. Can they see Danny? Okay. Jared said you guys have to send him 500 USD to see Danny, guys. So there's a price tag on Danny's face now, bro. Crazy stuff.
Cow.
so little.
Jared never said anything like that.
Come on, Senez. Don't do that to him. I think I can hear Dad. Hello, Dad. We can actually hear you.
Okay, sorry.
No, we can't hear Jiggy though, guys.
Okay, sorry to answer. So I don't know. Should I talk? I don't know. I'm not. Or are we done with Donny?
No, we're having a cross interview here. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Have you? Yeah.
Senez question. Funny enough, before Senez asked me that question, someone texted me, or rather, and the person was no chill, and the person asked me, and the person just jokingly just mentioned, the person just jokingly mentioned that's a Cyclone, and then when Senez just asked again, I was like, I mean, the picture is bright if you think about it. No offense to my current teammates, like not trying to disrespect them or anything, but like it's I don't know. Exactly. It is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah. So oh well. But sorry.
Are we losing him?
Wait, Carl, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay,
we can hear you now.
Wait, I don't that. Wait, Senez, wait, chill.
Wait.
No, Senez, I no go agree. Calm down. You dey poach my player for live stream.
No, at all. Let me interpret what Dad was trying to say. So Dad
Yeah.
came with receipts and he's like,
Okay.
oh, he had gotten certain conversations, like some people messaged him and he has been saying
Okay.
about it. But he said he's proud to be a member
Help!
of Eclipse and he's happy with the current situation of things. So, but we don't know what the future might hold. And his
I've
current
seen
focus
I've seen
is-
I've seen
Wait,
this
now let me
script
finish.
before.
He's currently focusing
I've
on
seen this script
helping
before.
his teams, helping his teammates, and seeing what they can achieve this year. That's what
But the crazy part is
Guys, look at no,
on
bro.
stream.
Bro, Jiggy, sorry.
Another
Let me
journey.
interpret what I understood from what I just heard. Dad said he has got an offer from somebody and he's eyeing it.
No,
And
don't be that guy, Kyle.
that is what I heard.
Don't be that
That is what I
guy.
heard. That is what I heard. Sorry, I don't know what it
Be
was.
that guy. Never.
No, the crazy thing is Senez they poach my player for stream.
Where I
Switching
want
up
push
on day
am go?
one.
Or go carry first. Dad, have you started creating content?
He say sorry
I
to my
love
Hey,
teammates.
guy.
Ah,
Guy.
pushing this hard.
Bro literally said sorry to my teammates.
bro, he said sorry, bro.
English is not his
Bro.
first language. I think you guys should know that by now, right? English
Now
is not his
wow.
first
Switching up on
language.
day one.
So
That one run boy street.
I swear,
Ah!
Daddy
Now,
said
wow.
he's switching up on his day ones. He's switching up on his day ones. Life on
Oh,
stream,
Allah.
guys. He's
It's all
switching
good,
up on
Sha.
his
It's all good. Dad, we know, we understand, Sha. I don't know if me I'll do the same, but we understand, no problem.
I mean, to be fair, guys, you guys heard it on the final second first. You guys saw the drama unfold. But this is why this podcast is there, yeah. And I love every minute of it. But again, guys, we've had a very, very wonderful session so far. Jiggy, do you have anything to say? You've been smiling, so do you have anything to say to us, man? Oh, please go on, Dad. Please go on, Dad. All right, sure. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, sir.
yeah. Continue.
Even is literally Nigeria, pure Nigeria. Eclipse
She'll call
purely.
me Dad, Jared. She'll call me Dad, Jared. Please.
Oh,
Okay.
Eclipse is purely Nigerian.
All right.
So if you think about, I've mentioned almost like 6 teams here, and if you think about it, they are all from most 90% or even 90 to 100% all from the same country. So now you're asking, if they're not aligned multinational, what are those breaking? Like literally, Rune can still play with Aura, and then next stage he can still go and play with PDX.
That chill. The thing is that it's not like the teams that are like benefiting from this multinational stuff. It's the players. That is just the goal of it. Because
Hear me out.
nobody wants.
Hear me out.
See, chill, yeah.
Okay.
People like hold on. People like Rio now. Let's see Rio 7K and cool. Let's be honest. Sorry to the Ghanaians and the Senegalese players. Apart from those guys in their country, they don't have anything that's like they can actually do. Let's be serious.
True.
So
True.
yeah,
True.
true. Like I'm sorry to the players.
True.
It's just how
Yeah.
life is. I'm sorry to them.
Yeah.
Rion obviously wants to win. That's why he's going to PDX. Because if he doesn't want to
Yes.
win, like he can't even win with Aura. Let's be for real. It's not possible.
Yes.
It's not possible.
Yes.
So he wants to win. He wants to be there. Real. If you ask Rion now, bro, what's your like main target while playing this game? Since I've known him in Ace, he's always saying, I want to play in stage 5. I want to play against these guys. Even when Bia went to the LAN, like he was complaining when he was in Sierra 7 that bro, we need to lock in. If we are not going to go to stage 5, I will leave the team. I'm not here to catch crews and all that. That is ruin for you. So I'm sure like the multinational is just mainly for the players like Darox, Rion, etc. Else, if they compete in their countries,
Yeah.
they will not go
Wait,
anywhere.
life, hear
Let's
me,
be for real.
life, hear me out. Their roster right now, like in that played for stage 5, they somehow uh, allowed 7K and still play with them. So that didn't affect the normal nationals to still go on. So Rio can still play with Ghana. They can still play with their respective countries, and then in stage 5, they all play as PDX. You get what I'm saying?
So
Chemistry,
Yeah.
that would affect the build up to chemistry from
Yeah,
how I see
exactly.
it. Yeah. Now, if
exactly,
you
that's
just
what I was
go,
about saying.
you guys get it. You guys get it exactly. You guys get it.
So
Well,
chemistry
okay.
matters. See
Well,
now,
that's a
PDX
meeting.
has been
Well, that's a
screaming
meeting.
like that. See now, PDX has been screaming with these guys. Yes, even though PDX field only Egyptians, and
Yeah.
somehow they win. They have already wasted months and shit training with these guys. Then they'll not go to stage 4 with only Egyptians. Then stage 5 they will not still bring back Creon and these guys. So it's like telling those people that won stage 4 that sorry, una
You guys are
qualify,
not good
but
enough.
una no go
Yeah,
travel.
it's bad.
It's just be
It's
like,
bad.
make I qualify with my team now. You won't go replace me with the results. After na me hustle, you go tell me say me I no go travel. It no
Makes
make
no
sense.
True. We'll
Makes
go
no
fight.
sense.
True.
So
True,
it no
we'll
go
go
make
fight,
Thanks
sense.
to be the best person to explain this to you.
True.
So
yeah.
Okay.
so why 7 can travel and why Vapex didn't travel and why this person traveled etc is only Beer that knows what happened, because there's no way you
Okay.
tell me that if Vapex actually struggled for it and saying he wants to go, that they will drop him
Yeah.
and etc. So only
Okay.
them know what happened behind the scenes. That's why 7K went.
True.
Yeah.
Then life. I also want you to please correct something because Seb
Okay.
is known as a generational. I don't know
He's
if
just
I
rage.
should say
He's
the
a
word.
rage beta. He just
No.
rage beta.
Yeah. Because sometimes he even speaks without. I wish he was here. Earlier on, he was saying something about. I mean, you. Okay, he's your team. Fadi is your teammate now. Fadi, Seb was saying things like if you want Fadi to pick up a shotgun, he'll pick up a shotgun. If you want Fadi to pick up marksman, he wants him to pick up AR. And then when Seb was saying all this, the only thing that's coming to my mind is literally you, life, because that is you. Why is Seb saying that Fadi can do everything while the only thing I've seen Fadi use is like an SMG and a sniper? Like, is he trying to push that narrative to the extent that he's blindly, I don't know, Sha, like you said, he's a rage beta. So maybe that is what everybody knows him as. So I don't know. But I felt like he was confusing you and Fadi.
Well, the thing is, if you guys can hear me, the thing is, I don't know about Seb. The only thing I can say is I will not put Fadi in a situation that he's not perfect in at the moment because of his player profile and his character. Sorry to say Fadi. I don't know if Fadi is in the stream. So I would rather put someone that doesn't complain, that is ready to accept something for the team and down to earth to learn something than to put Fadi. Fadi is already perfect. Fadi is already perfect with the SMG and sniper. Why would I even want to think about putting him on something else? That's just it. But if you look at it in S7, the person that have changed the most gun rules like over time, you know his name. So if S7 needs something, they will just message that person and his name will pop out later. So, so yeah, if S7 needs something, I'll always want to put myself there to like switch because I know with time I can like adjust to a role perfectly than removing the perfect players from their perfect role. Like me removing hacks from AR to SMG. Waiting I want to bro, like nah. Or putting pain on SMG. Pain. God forbid. Anyways, let's
Jesus
continue.
Christ, Pain is on the chat, my
No
Yeah.
shots fired.
Daniello, what do you see? What do you see? If you guys now, like, if they are now the multinational, what do you like? Cyclone, what do you think about you guys? Like, which players are you guys going to go for? Are you guys going for life?
Pitching yourself in?
Or
Are
like,
you
what's the
pitching
plan?
yourself in?
Cyclone? Are you pitching
Are
yourself
you
in?
However, guys,
going to take life from S7?
Carl,
Is this
I-
man actually pitching himself for Cyclone
No,
right now?
chill. Are you guys? No. Hear me out. I said life. Are you guys taking life from
Carl, you need to
S7?
handle this
Are you
situation. It's getting out of hand.
Oh, okay, you that you that is asking that question. Deep down in your heart, which player can both of us sub in Cyclone currently? We don't have anything to offer to the team.
Bro, why did
They have
you
better
think on me inside
network.
this matter now? Enter port before
I'm
enter
no,
port
I'm being
now.
Yo,
Like, why are
I'm
you?
Danny,
being
Danny, you
serious.
there?
Are
Danny,
you?
are you there? Danny, are you there?
Hold
I,
on. Do this.
I'm
How
being
about you let
serious.
Daniello answer? Let Daniello answer.
Let Danny answer.
Daniel
Danny,
answer. Yeah.
You're not gonna like the answer.
mm.
Daniel, your
is
mic
Danny
is
still
muted,
there?
Daniello.
Now we
Oh
can't hear. Tap on the
no.
settings, please. You
Tap
see
on the settings
something
now.
and like
I
turn
think
it
so,
on.
I can't hear him.
Well, before we get in, Danny to comment again. We're meant to have a 2-hour podcast. Somehow we have extended it to 4:30, so we have 16 more minutes, and we have to end this
Yeah.
season
So
one.
before Danny
Thing by
starts, I actually have a question for you. I don't know. We've not heard much of what's the name of this Kenyan team again? I've
Delta.
forgotten them.
Delta.
Yeah,
Delta.
we've not heard about
Delta.
Delta in a while. What's up?
Delta
What's
is
in it
just
for
good.
them this year, Abu Dhabi?
Jiggy, don't ask me questions, eh?
You have a
Don't
question.
make me angry.
Yeah, let's
Do
blow.
not piss me off right now. In Kenya, we're
No,
just good vibes and
we've literally
East
not heard
Africa,
anything from Delta Esports this year.
look, East Africa is just good vibes and inshallah. I honestly
The
don't
only
know
person
what's
I
happening
see
there.
active is Michael. He's
Wait,
turned into a full-time
even
streamer.
nondescript. What happened to nondescript? I saw Outcasts in free agency recently.
Yo,
Yeah,
What happened to that
if
boy?
Brother,
Senez, this is all
are you
pegging
are,
on
are you
the
guys
fact.
are you guys shading them right now? What?
No, this is all
Nondescript
pegging.
forever.
No, not
Listen,
shade.
whatever's going to happen in East Africa is pegging on Carifest announcing if this is a multinational thing. That's when they'll make an. That's
But
when
you
they'll
already
make a
have
move
an
on this end.
insight from Senez.
Wait, Daniello,
Yeah,
can you
they-
talk? Mm.
they're finding out that right now.
yo,
They just waited
can
for
you guys hear
one
me?
confirmation.
Okay.
That if this
All
is a
right, guys.
Yeah,
multinational
yeah.
thing, it's just going to go to shit. The transfer window is about to go to shit.
Okay.
Okay,
All right,
I think
guys.
I hear
Thank
Daniello
you for
now.
that. Yeah, Danny's guys. I want to point out something very fast. Danny came back, and Danny's back. Danny's back. He just wants to hear what Danny has to go and say, chat. So,
Hello,
Danny, please
let's
take
get
the floor.
let's
Okay.
get the transfer window rolling now.
Okay,
Danny, please
so
take the floor.
I'm gonna be realistic here. If the multinational is allowed, I don't think that our team will change at all. I don't think that we'll accept anybody.
Exactly.
Do have a backup per se. I don't think I'm necessarily allowed to release that though, so I won't. But right now, I don't think that the team is going to change at all, no matter what, because we've built too much of a relationship and too much of experience with each other that it's just not worth it. So yeah, in terms of for other teams opening up the multinational, uh, again, I do agree that I think it's only there to kind of benefit certain players, like Ruin, like Darox in Morocco. My thing's gonna be black, but it's fine. But
I
like
don't know.
Okay, I don't
in
know.
terms of for the multinational thing, I think a better kind of alternative might actually to be to maybe allow certain countries to have more teams to come forward, especially considering their level of skill. Like last year, we had two Nigerian teams who performed like pretty well. But I think that we could also bring in South African teams like Ace, maybe even Reborn Esports that have been showing like promise, and we know are better than some of the teams that competed last year. I don't. But the problem is that then how do you kind of quantify who gets to go and not?
So you're calling Ace
It's
NATO
a
now.
very tricky kind of situation, but I think that the multinational, as much as it can help teams, I think that because it's so normalized now, that teams have built too much chemistry to kind of really change all that much.
Sorry, yes. To agree with what Daniel, this was exactly my point. We have a lot of teams. If you mention at least the top 4 or top 5, they are all from one country. So if you're trying to say you want multinational, at the end of the day, just for like one player or just two player in African scene. And Senez mentioned something earlier. He was saying something I think even odd was, if you look at it from the marketing parts and a lot of like from the other parts, the whole idea of the national single nationality was a very good idea, which made a lot of like Ghana TV and etc. So if you think about it, it's still going to be the same rodeo. The teams like Daniello said now, teams are not even looking out. They're not even. They have built so much chemistry together. The same thing. These Paradox guys, most of them enough. They have played literally together almost all their life. S7 players, they have played a lot of tournaments all their lives. Ace, that is NATO, they have played a lot together. So if you think about it, what Danilo said makes more sense than the whole idea of multinational. But like, I mean, it is what it is.
Well,
Because
well,
also, like,
personally, hold- yeah,
you can go on,
personally,
you can
yeah,
go
I
on.
feel the multinational is not a bad idea. Yeah, it's not actually a bad idea because if I was in Rion shoes, I would also want multinational. I can't be grinding.
Just to play Aura 233, bro.
Or Delta, nondescript, this one, that one. They are just going on free vacation at this point. So it's nothing.
Hey, hey.
Just run, just
I
run
mean,
the multinational. Run the multinational. I don't know who wants to join whichever team. Everybody will still form their team. If you want to stay in your country and form a team, it's only your country people. Then cool, no problem and all.
Okay.
But leave the multi.
I
Yeah,
mean, I
just
mean, if you
Yeah.
think about
it's
it,
as
if you
simple
think
as
about
that.
it, the only reason Ace would even want a multinational is because they, I don't know, if I'm Ace right now, I should be pushing for more slots, like Danilo said, because they're also looking for free excursion.
No, but
If you think about
either
it,
way, don't you think
Ace,
if
all
don't you think multinational don't you think multinational gives people who are trying to form a new team a chance to collect proper players like Infinity Stones, honestly, rather than try and maintain the status quo? Like them,
exactly now, Danilo, that's the thing now. If they want to collect Infinity Stones, which player is willing right now to leave their comfort? Like, just imagine saying Simsy now is an Infinity Stone now in Cyclone. You want to pull out Simsy to join him with Darox. I mean, two of them have had their saga, but just imagine. And then you want to bring out another.
hold on. Now let's not talk for about players who are in like rather stable teams, right? Fine, I won't speak to CR7. That's a very stable team. That's a phase on its own. It has its own ecosystem. It's stable. They wouldn't leave. Let's speak now. Let me speak for the East African side. A player like Michael, a player like Storm. Those two will be very willing to leave. And my gamble will be this: if the announcement for the multinational thing went out today, that announcement went out, they'd probably end up at Cast or Ace right now. Right now, in East
Well,
Okay.
it's 100
Wait.
percent
I
sure
beg
that
to
Storm
differ.
will end up in Ace, but nobody. For Michael, I don't know the team amongst like Ace, PDX, which other top in Series 7, ECL. I don't know which one Michael will join, but I'm sure Storm will go to Ace because he will add to their like search and destroy especially. But
Guys,
for
I think there's
Michael,
something I need
nobody
to
knows
point
yet.
out. Sorry. I need to point out something very crucial. As I said earlier on, don't for 1 second think there'll be multinationals and the player who is not residing in the team's country will play from his country.
Exactly. So that
So
means you're willing
just
to fly
Exactly.
just
out
just put
someone.
that at the back of your mind. It is going to be a case of multinationals. Maybe you're thinking of a Storm or a Michael in a South African team. That team would have to fly Storm from Kenya to
So South
play
Africa.
the entire
To play.
qualifiers in
Also, I
South
just wanna
Africa.
I just wanna bring up something, right?
I hope you're
With the
aware.
multinational, with the like the multinational kind of idea is
Yeah.
that I don't even think it would be implemented as much because provider and trying to gauge their abilities can sometimes be again, we've only really pointed out about four players who can benefit from the multinational kind of idea, and that's Michael, Storm, Ruin, and Darox.
Darox.
And yeah, and also that idea that Senez says that these teams are going to be the ones that have to now fly over these players, and they may not necessarily have the ability unless unless there's a goal of like.
In the long run, it still benefits.
Wait, sorry, Senez, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, what's the question?
Sorry, you said something now that players are willing to fly, like the team should be willing to fly the players to play in that country for their qualifiers. So, for example, if let me use EC on my team now, once if like want to pick up someone from another country, we have to fly the player to our country, the Nigeria, to play Nigerian qualifiers. Qualifiers. Oh,
Don't make up your own assumptions or rules about the tournament. One thing is clear: each teams come from a particular country that they represent, right? That's what's clear. And
Yep.
why is that established? So that they can all play on the same server and the same, everything is fair in terms of ping and everything. So if you're going to have a situation where a team would require one of their member to be brought in from another country, right, like South Africa, that player, of course, needs to reside in the same country where his other team members are, so that they all play on the same level. So that's what is established. Don't go make
okay.
your own
Honestly, honestly,
Okay,
sorry,
I
Carl,
get-
just give me
I
20
get.
seconds. If you guys asked me for my opinion, if I look at it from the business angle of this whole thing, I'd rather push for more slots than this multinational thing. That's for me. That's for me.
That is you thinking of business, not
Yeah.
bringing the best in the country or in the region.
The best can always match up and do their thing. Wasn't that what happened last year?
No, but that's just it. That's just it. The best did not match up for the actual world champs finals. If we
The only
look at it
person that was missed
realistically-
was Darox.
Was he? Was he though? You really don't think that the certain addition of players, clusters from different parts of the continent would have made a better representation of the African continent? Like just a
Can I come in
cluster of
here?
certain players.
Can I come in here? So I think the one thing to take account for is the fact that we are used now. The one factor and point you guys have always pointed out throughout today is the Egyptians have played together for 10 years. SA 20 years and all that. So they have chemistry. They know. Yes, that is fact. Because that is how it's been done for a very long time. Yeah. But now we're saying it doesn't mean if you open the door. Now Daniello just made something very clear. Like even if they give multinationals, they might not be looking to bring anybody in. Yes, but if the doors open, yes. Eventually, let me go to football now. For instance, we just saw Morocco. Yeah, played the what do you call it? The AFCON game. They're going to the finals on Sunday. Is that today? Yeah, that's today actually. Now, I don't think there's a chance of Morocco winning the World Cup this year. The World Cup is this year, right? I don't think there's a chance of Morocco winning the World Cup this year. Now they have players like Hakimi, world-class players, Brahim Diaz, world-class players. But then when it comes to club football, there's now a chance for these players to play together. Now these players are players that would never win. No offense. Africa is not going to win the World Cup for the next 10, 20, 30 years. I doubt it. No African country is going to win the World Cup. That's what I think, yeah? So now, but, they have a chance to play at club level where Real Madrid can come together, bring in Diaz, bring in Salah, bring in these guys, and then they have a chance to win Champions League, the biggest club football honors and all that. And, ultimately, there's a window for that kind of, stuff happening. Now, in terms of this now, yes, a lot of these teams already have established rosters where NAF, they want to play Charisma Eyo. This is what they're comfortable with. This is what they're used to. Perfect. Nobody's stopping them. But it doesn't mean you shouldn't open the door now to people like Rain, Seven Ken, Darox, who actually now need to play for top teams. You can't keep saying, Rain, play for Aura. I'm sorry, you have to play for Aura until you die. You will never win a cup. Because, come on, man. It's just the fact.
Sorry,
These players are
Carl.
tier one. Let me finish that. These players are T1. They have what it takes to win trophies, lift trophies, be MVPs of tournaments, but they can't do that with the teams they're stuck with. So you now being, NAF is used to this. That's fine. But when you open up the window, then let's see what happens. Open up the window first. Open up the door first. And let's see what happens from there. You're going to see how teams are going to basically change your rosters, and you're going to see like 3-4 different countries in one particular team. But you have to open up the door first. Right now, we're just talking, this is what we're used to. This is what the players are used to. So they don't want to, it's like your comfort zone. You're used to this. But when that door opens up, I promise you, things are going to change. It's just a fact.
Okay, so sorry, one question. or rather, let me just say, let's compare and contrast. I'm talking to Abuderby now. He says something that the best did not go for champs last year. Let's compare and contrast the players that actually represented Africa last year to the current PDX roster. If you compare and contrast, you find out that the only player that is right now that is not there or that did not travel is Ruin. Darox somehow traveled, even as much as he traveled as a coach, whatever, but he still traveled. 7KN traveled. So the old player that we're even supposedly adding is even Ruin. So you find out that at the end of the day, 6 players cannot play the game. It's still going to be 5 players and 1 sub.
Let me phrase the question this way, and I'm putting this question out for everybody on the live stream right now. Hold on, Senez.
No. I was getting to see. What I'm getting to is
1 second. Let me.
PDX is still Egypt.
Once. Oh, you can't hear me.
Well, we can hear you.
All right. Let me just raise a question for everybody, for everyone. This is for everyone. Let me. It's just one last question because you can't hear me. Okay. So my question is this. Wait. Hold on. All right. Can you hear me now? Okay. Now. All right, now let me just raise the question for the entire field. It's just one question because let me phrase it will answer what I was trying to say. In football, you did well to raise the football question, Kyle, because in football we have this thing called fantasy football. Yes, everyone is familiar with that idea, the concept of FPL. So, ideally, are you telling me that your FPL would have consisted of Bear Clan fully to represent Africa on the whole? Is your FPL would have had your Call of Duty Mobile FPL would have had Bear Clan as it was on the world stage? Is that what you're telling me? Anyone. Exactly.
It can't. But what I'm saying is, if you're right now, oh gosh, okay, continue.
think during the whole LAN and stuff, when they all traveled, everyone was saying in the group then that, man, imagine Simsy went with Trion to be the ARs, then this one, that one, everybody was just dropping their fantasy stuff, although it might have been the same results, but everybody felt that if Rion had went, or one person had went, like one good AR to back up EO, it would have been a good roster because the natural AR in the team was only EO. The rest were like SMGs, if I'm sure. Yeah, they were SMGs. So we felt that if Simsy or Rion had gone, it would have been better. That's what we felt. So you can't tell me like that team then and the current team now is the same. That nah, I don't agree with you.
Exactly. Now that exact reasoning is why I'm for the multinational
we'll
team.
see.
Give
Full
everyone a
time
chance.
until, right?
We'll see. Exactly, we'll see.
A couple of months, we'll be back.
No problem.
So
in the
one
thick of it.
question for the Nigerians here that team owners and players like Dad and Jiggy. Do you think Nigeria will shock other regions this year?
Live. I think you always updated, Sha. So I have this
What did
hashtag
you
I've been
say?
pushing. Make Nigeria great again. Just watch out.
Because I've been
Watch
watching
out for the
screens,
new
like, for the
Nigeria.
past 1 week.
I'm gonna see, guys.
ECL has
Please,
actually been doing crazy things. So
You're live. Sorry, yeah. I'm going through comments, and then even Xavier, who just won Deca Cup, says, "I'm nothing for NG, bro." This is a pro player, by the way. Come on, guys. I mean, I want to see NG.
you see, Carl, you see Xavier and ECL. Don't listen to them. They are plotting behind the scenes. They will shock us. So that's the only thing I can tell you, Sha. That's why Dad has been smiling here since. He knows the work ECL is putting.
I'm smiling because my baby did the life. No, be say I'm smiling. So
Why do you feel the need to let us know you have a babe?
I'm
just saying it because
get babe now.
exactly we have to oppress. We have to oppress now. Because it's not going
Okay.
But for you guys,
yeah,
watch out for Nigeria this year.
All right, guys.
Watch out for Nigeria.
Guys. As much as I want this podcast to
Jesus
go
Christ,
on
watch out
till
for
maybe 7 p.m., I don't mind. But we've had quite a long run. This is episode 3, sorry. But this is episode 1 of 2026, guys. But this is episode 3, Chad. We are going to be doing this every Sunday. And we are going to be, of course, bringing in... guys, again, first of all, the replay of the stream is going to be on the YT channel. So you click the link in my bio, go and watch it on YT if you want to have a replay. And go and comment on the YT who you want to see in the next episode. And we are going to try to make them come. You know, we had to drag life here, guys. It was not easy, bro. Matt away. You guys can go and leave a comment. If you want to see Madman, comment on the YT and we're going to try to get him. Yeah. But yeah, this has been a very wonderful episode, and big shout out to Real Time, our partner. Big shout out to all our amazing guests, Seb, Jiggy, Senez, Eugene, Abuderby, Daniello, Live Dad, every single one of you that did come to stream to watch it as well. Big shout out to all of you. We've had a wonderful episode 3, and for the match analysis part, we're going to do a lot better next time for sure. Break it down for you into bits, and hopefully we can tie Seb down this time for calling that the season of my 10 buddy. But anyways, guys, it's been a very wonderful stream. We are going to have to end things off now. And don't forget, guys, we are going to be live next Sunday. But before that, a couple of things to look forward to. The ACC is officially starting the qualifiers on the 24th of this month. That's going to be on Saturday. So look forward to that. It's going to be an amazing game, an amazing show. I don't know who's playing yet, but it's a qualifier. So you guys look forward to that. And of course, the main event starts shortly after the qualifiers. So $1,500 prize pool, a lot at stake in terms of glory and throne, and of course finances, money. Yeah, we're looking forward to World Champs and roadmap as well coming through, and looking forward to hopefully a multinational that me and Eugene have been fighting everybody else against, But yeah, you guys, thank you for coming to the stream. Have a very wonderful evening. Go and enjoy the rest of the evening, and make sure to watch the AFCON Grand Finals. I'm going to ask my co-host, Abuderby and Senez, Jiggy, any final words before we go and say good night to these guys?
I hate you, Cal. I hate you.
I love you too, man. But yeah, guys, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful night. We're going to see you guys next week Sunday on the final cycle, episode 4. Goodbye.